And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN2, where our NASCAR Nationwide Series coverage cranks up. Those of you on ESPN Classic, make the switch over. Follow along with us 300 miles at the very fast Las Vegas Motor Speedway, about to unfold. 43 drivers in search of the jackpot at the end of that racing distance here today. Look at the crowd on hand.
That's outstanding. I love it.
Beautiful weather, and we are expecting an exciting race here in Las Vegas today. Kyle Busch is a Las Vegas native. His racing career got started on this property at a little 3/8 mile short track just across the parking lot. Who knew years ago, when the then Durango High School honors student was beginning his racing, that he would turn out to be a NASCAR history maker 1 week ago?
Kyle Busch is the only driver who is racing in all three of NASCAR's Premier Series this weekend. He is the man to beat today, as he is most days when he takes to the track.
Thank you, guys. This is awesome.
Kyle Busch wins the San Bernardino County 200.
Looks like Kyle Busch liked that view out front in that truck race. He's got it again right here.
Carl says, at least come back to him and race a little bit. If I do that, he's going to lead a lap. Aren't we battling for the championship a little bit here? Sorry, buddy.
Winning twice in one day, Kyle Busch makes NASCAR history.
Well, that incredible performance last Saturday out at the Auto Club Speedway of Southern California, in which Kyle Busch won 2 major NASCAR races in the same day. And now he's here in his hometown of Las Vegas, and he would very much like to go to Victory Lane this afternoon. Kyle on stage being introduced as a result of his winning performance. He's got to get a couple of those post-race awards. A little extra cash for Kyle and his race team as a result of their California performance. We'll hear from him. In just a minute when he steps off the stage. Mike Massaro standing right next to that camera, in fact, to talk to Kyle Busch. Mike?
And catching up with him now, getting a lot of greetings from the hometown crowd. A very high concentration of Kyle Busch fans here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, that's for sure. What's it like for you to come to this racetrack?
It is what it is. Just another racetrack on the circuit. We'll come out here, try to win a race, and see if we can't do it today or tomorrow.
And it seems like you're in the equipment to do so. A week ago, you dominated in California. How's this car today compared to the one you had a week ago?
Not as good as the one we had a week ago. Not sure why. Just feels like it gets a little bit tight, so we'll see if we can't get it freed up.
Well, Kyle Busch rolls off 5th today, Alan.
All right, Michael, thank you. Kyle Busch leads the NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship standings after the first 2 races of the season. And as we look at the points, he only has a gap of 20 on Carl Edwards. That is not much, the way these things work. Those 2 drivers running all the races, competing for the title, while most of the others closest to them in the standings are not. Dave, Carl Edwards, we should see a lot of he and Kyle Busch racing throughout the season. Carl starts 7th today.
That's going to be the fun thing, Alan. Both Kyle and Carl going for it. That's called acceleration, deceleration. All at, can you hold it steady down there? You should be driving this thing.
It wouldn't be any better.
Oh, okay. Hey, speaking of acceleration, 2 races, 2 great race cars. No payoff yet. What about today? 3 in a row as far as your equipment goes?
If we make it through this truck ride, maybe. But yeah, this Save-A-Lot Ford is pretty good, and I think it's better in race trim than it was in qualifying trim. Last year, it was a wild finish, and like I said before, man, I just like to be in victory lane here. This will be very cool for my guys.
And you know that the championship starts early in the Nationwide Series, and you learned last year in the chase, you've got to make every race count, right?
Oh yeah, and that's what we've been thinking about. You know, I mean, we haven't got a win yet, but we've accumulated quite a few points in the first 2 races. If we can just keep that going, you know, it's going to be a long season, and we just got to get everything we can. If it means, you know, if it's wins, that's great, but if it's not, we've got to do everything we can to get every last point.
All right, he'll be hard on the gas and quiet on the brakes today, I think, Alan, unlike this truck.
Yeah, Dave, what makes you think going around here with a driver at a couple 100 miles an hour would be any smoother than that pickup truck was? Let me back up to Kyle Busch for just a minute. How big a deal was what he accomplished last Saturday?
That was unbelievable what he did last Saturday. Winning in 2 of the major touring divisions in NASCAR is an unbelievable feat. He is an extremely talented young man, and he is a threat to win every week, no matter what he sits in.
Yeah, he'll be a threat to win today. DJ, these 2 guys, Busch and Edwards, are going to be knocking heads all season long. Ever have a time in your career where you just had this one guy that you kept finding was your obstacle to success?
Well, I think in 1996, when Robert Yates started his 2nd team, he said, okay, here's the deal. Ford Quality Care is your sponsor. Your job's to beat Dale Earnhardt in the Goodrich Chevrolet. Oh, wow. I said, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. But we had a great rivalry, great battle, and to have someone like that's your friend, but yet a great competitor was a lot of fun.
All right, now we've got to get you from here to the broadcast booth in just just a little bit, so good luck with that. We'll talk to you shortly.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you, DJ. Now, one of our champion crew chiefs, you would say one of our pit bosses, is upstairs getting ready to call the race with Doc Punch and DJ. Andy Petrie. These guys on the racetrack are going to knock heads a lot this year, Andy, but that's not the only place we're going to see some great competition.
Yeah, Alan, it's going to be great to watch these guys duke it out on the track, but they're also going to be racing on pit road. That's going to be the big thing for these guys, is who can get on and off pit road the fastest. This thing could actually come down to a pit stop to win the championship. You see these guys racing each other hard last week at California. Kyle Busch beats Carl Edwards by just a little bit off pit road. Late in the race, even though Kyle Busch had the car to beat, Carl Edwards, by just a few inches, beats him off pit road and had a shot to win, but Kyle Busch's car was just a little bit too strong.
Now, I want to look ahead to the late stages of today's race, Andy, here in Las Vegas. If these two teams, again, wind up going head-to-head, where should we be watching and what should we be watching for?
Pit 30 and 31, Alan, they're not down there. They didn't qualify good enough to get those good pit stalls down at the end of pit road. So they're up at 30 and 31. They have an opening between them. They can see each other. And when they make their pit stops, they're going to have to come out of their pit stalls and go down pit road and dodge cars trying to come out and on to their pit stall. So there's going to be a little danger for them trying to race down to that line at the end of pit road.
So you're saying those two spots right in front of our pit studio. We're going to get to watch that all unfold today.
Yeah, you'll have a good shot of them, Al.
All right, Andy. Hey, nice tie. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks.
All right. Now let's stay on the subject of pit road and strategy for a minute. Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage has a look at another angle crew chiefs may play today. Tim?
Thanks, Alan. In the first place, if you don't have enough speed to win the race, you might want to change your focus. You want to come up here to the fuel mixture in the car. You want to make it as lean as possible without hurting the engine, but you want to make a lot of horsepower. You want to get good fuel mileage. Another thing, NASCAR gives you the option of a 370 gear or a 360 gear. If you pull the 360 gear, that's going to enable you to turn about 150 RPMs less per lap. That's going to save you a little fuel. Another thing, little things, picking up all the fuel. Having this fuel pickup over here where you can get the most fuel you possibly can out of the 18-gallon cell. Because if you put 18-gallon in, make sure you get it all out. Because if you're going to gamble here in Las Vegas, you better have everything in order to win the race.
I have never heard of Brewer gambling in Las Vegas before.
No way.
All right, Tim, thanks. Couple other things to watch for today. Crashes and cautions. Last year's race had 13 yellows. 2 years ago, there were 12. If I set 10 as the over-under, which way are you going today?
I'm going under.
Under 10 cautions.
I think we're going to have under 10 cautions. I think these guys are well aware. I think they've adjusted to the speeds. That was the big thing last year because they were holding the car wide open. I think there'll be less cautions today, a little better racing.
If I gave you Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards, or the field, all the rest of them, Burton and Hamlin and Biffle and Speed and all the rest, which would you take?
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards.
Yes, sir. Kyle Busch. Kyle and Carl are going to be tough on today. Jeff Burton's good. Hamlin's good. Those guys are tough. But Kyle Busch is on a roll, and I think Carl's coming after him.
Well, one of the guys that would be in that group of the field today is Dale Earnhardt Jr. with Shannon.
Alan, you can certainly not count the 5-car out. It's been an eventful weekend for this team. A punctured oil cooler in first practice, a little bit of repair, a little bit of cleanup, but you guys got back out on the track. How is the car now, and what are your expectations for this race?
Well, the car's pretty good. We were real happy with it in practice. We had a little bit more qualifying and just didn't get it out of the car, but the car's a little bit better. So it drives good, and we've been having fun. I mean, it's pretty fun. These things almost go around here wide open. It's pretty cool. Fun, good, wide open. Those are three really strong words for this racetrack. Alan?
All right, we'll keep an eye on Junior coming from 15th starting spot today in the 5-car. Some others to keep an eye on today. The 20-car, Denny Hamlin driving the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. It's painted like an Interstate Batteries machine. Don't confuse it with Kyle Busch today. Brian Vickers starts 10th, been fast in the 32-car. Don't be surprised if he's a contender. And Stephen Wallace trying to make Papa proud. He starts 6th in our NASCAR Nationwide Series 300-miler at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. ABC and ESPN are your NBA destinations Sunday. Couple good matchups, too. The Detroit Pistons, maybe or maybe not, with Allen Iverson, rolling into Boston to take on Paul Pierce and the Celtics, now with Stephon Marbury. Then Kobe and the Lakers take on Shaq and the Suns, and the action ends on ESPN when LeBron and the Cavs take on the Hawks. The NBA on ABC and ESPN tomorrow, starting at 12:30 Eastern with the GMC NBA Countdown. As we wrap up our NASCAR countdown, let's hear from the man who starts on the outside of the front row, Dave.
Alan, every time we see Kevin Harvick run well in his own 33 car, we wonder, is today the day? Will next week be the day? Last week, again, very good. Kevin, how about today at Vegas in the 33?
Well, our Rheem tankless water heaters Chevrolet has been really good since we unloaded. Same car we ran last week, it ran really good there and qualified good. So we'll see what happens. We'll just keep plugging along, and we're right where we need to be to make something happen, and we'll see how it all falls.
All right, he starts second today. He's just behind the pole sitter, and again, a chance to win his own equipment for the first time. Alan?
All right, David, thank you. So as we close in on the opening ceremony, weather today, it's in the high 60s. There's a pretty good breeze blowing out there. We'll see if that becomes a factor for some of the drivers and teams. And as you look on the scene here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I offer you this, Brad.
Yes.
Pull out your starting lineup.
All right.
8 of the 12 winners here have started in the top 10. Last year's winner started 17th. You taking the top 10 starters today or the field?
I'm taking the top 10 starters today because you have Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards in that top 10. Also, Kevin Harvick, who had a super run last week, was right there in the mix. And that cat right there, Greg Biffle, he comes into his own at this racetrack. He loves this racetrack. He could be tough today, along with Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski and Scott Speed. It goes on and on and on.
So all these dashing leading men dressed in their racing costumes, getting ready to take the high-speed stage, looking for a show-stopping performance that'll make them the high roller for the day. Let's go trackside.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Nellis Air Force Base Honor Guard present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Las Vegas Motor Speedway Chaplain, Mr. Joe Freiberger, offers today's invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being here today. And we ask that you would bless and protect each one of these drivers, their crews, the fire and safety personnel, and all present. And we ask a special blessing for our men and women who serve in the defense of this great nation of ours. It is in your name that we pray. Amen.
Please join me in welcoming Speedway Superstar Contest winner Kyra White as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now it's time to get down to business. 300 miles, 1 trophy, and what a town for a victory party.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta love Vegas.
Who's going to win today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway? A great field lined up ready to go. The engines fire in just a moment.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Las Vegas. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official insurance partner of NASCAR.
There is some horsepower.
That is awesome.
Nellis Air Force Base right across the street from Las Vegas Motor Speedway all weekend long. The air show has been going on. The Air Force and a lot of collaborative maneuvers with different other countries around the world, and they've had all kind of hardware on display. That's the bonus for these race fans who've come here to see these machines crank it up and let loose on the very fast 1.5 mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Carl Edwards getting ready to go. There's Scott Speed, who will start on the pole in his very first NASCAR Nationwide Series race ever.
Wonderful, Scott. Good job. We've got a great, and look at the fans, Alan. We have got a stand full of fans. This is awesome.
Outstanding crowd today. Beautiful weather. Great weather today. Again, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s forecast for the afternoon, and wonderful weather for the weekend so far here at Las Vegas that they hope continues for the Sprint Cup race tomorrow. There's Brendan Gaughan, one of the Vegas natives in the field, along with Kyle Busch, hoping to take the trophy this afternoon. Remember, that's a backup car after a practice crash yesterday, and Kyle Busch ready to go in 5th position. Did he make it? We go upstairs to Dr. Jerry Punch, Andy Petrie, and I think Dale Jarrett.
He made it. Great job down there. That's a pair down there I would bet on any time. Nice job, DJ. That might have been the best race of the day, getting from upstairs. Folks, when you come to Las Vegas, you expect to see headliners, and folks, we have got them for you here today. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Burton Harvick, Camlin Vickers, and many, many more. But guys, racing here is not without its risks. As a driver, DJ, what tops your list of concerns?
I think the biggest thing is the speed that you carry through the corners here, and we've seen some pretty big crashes here. You hit extremely hard, and if you're one of these Cup drivers and owners, you know that that's a chance that you're taking out here, but these guys just want to race.
In a city where gambling is a way of life, a couple of crew chiefs down at Roger this morning told me that this tire and this track will allow them to roll the dice. Andy, what are they talking about?
Well, what they're talking about, Doc, is you have a tire here that doesn't lose any speed as you run it, and that really opens up a lot of options on pit road. I mean, they're going to have to put fuel in, no doubt, but they don't have to put 4 tires on every pit stop, so they can come in and decide to take 2 tires or probably even no tires with the way this tire is wearing, so it could really jumble up things on pit road in the standings late in the race.
You know, until yesterday, I talked to Scott Speed. He said he had never even sat in a NASCAR Nationwide Series car, and now he is the pole sitter, surrounded by some experienced winners. What concerns should everyone have in the early laps today?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he's just excited about being there and being up front. And the other thing is the bottom of the racetrack is extremely rough, so I know he's going to try to go in there wide open. He just wants to make sure that he makes it through there.
And Andy, you said you treat him like a...
I treat him like a loaded gun.
All right, let's just see what's going to happen here. An inexperienced pole sitter, lots of hungry veterans around him when they come down to the green flag. Let's go down now trackside to get the command to fire him up.
Race fans, please welcome UNLV Runnin' Rebels men's basketball coach, Mr. Lon Kruger, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Cars are set to roll as we are just moments away from the start. Now, our in-race reporter today is a Las Vegas native who has experienced success in several different sports. Brendan Gaughan was a NASCAR West Series champion twice, as a NASCAR Truck Series champion. And oh, by the way, he played basketball for the legendary Big John Thompson at Georgetown. Who are his racing heroes? Well, you couldn't find better ones than Parnelli Jones and the Oval Meister Rick Mears. We'll talk to Brendan Gaughan and wave the green flag when we come back to Vegas in just a moment. First big gamble today was NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying this morning, and in qualifying it's all about speed. Today it was Scott Speed, the 26-year-old, making his very first start and sitting on the pole, becoming only the 9th different driver to win a pole in his series debut. Flanking him, the veteran Kevin Harvick, and while you watch to see where your favorite driver is starting, let's visit with the driver of the South Point Hotel and Casino Chevrolet, Brendan Gaughan, who starts back in lucky 13th today.
Hey, Brendan, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Got it, DJ. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brendan. Thanks for doing this. Our first question comes from our ESPN mailbag. And Wayne in Alabama would like to know, did having all your friends and family here put more pressure on you today?
Absolutely. I mean, I got my grandmother and grandfather up there, nieces, nephews, high school friends. But it's a lot of fun. I like that pressure. I mean, Coach Thompson instilled that in me. My father instilled that in me. And pressure to me is just another level of fun, man. Driving for Rusty's pressure with this paint scheme, too. But I enjoy the heck out of it.
All right, man. Hey, Brendan, we've seen a lot of cautions and wrecks here the last couple of years at this racetrack. In your opinion, what's creating all of this?
A lot of it's probably those bumps, especially there's a bunch of bumps as you go into turn one. We're all running on the spring nowadays where we're coil bound, and you go over those things really upset your race car. So I bet it's a lot of those guys running on coil bind springs and running through those bumps just really upset these things, and that's what got me yesterday.
All right, Brendan, thanks a lot. Have a great day. And now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Brian Berry.
Hey, Brian, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, Andy, how you doing up there?
Hey, Brian, you guys have had a kind of an eventful weekend so far. How does running a backup car here today change your strategy for the race?
We still came here to do the same thing. You know, I mean, we're in Vegas, got the son of the gambling man driving here. So we can still pull this thing off. No changes right here. We'll have to sort it out a little bit to start with and get it going here. Sure have to make a couple changes, hopefully nothing drastic.
How about this tire, Brian? We've heard everybody talking about how good it is, and what is that going to do to your pit strategy here late in the race?
Well, we're hoping that's going to allow us, if we need some track position, to take a chance to get the finish we need, that we'll be able to do it, because tire wear wasn't anything to speak of for us at all yesterday.
Okay, Brian, you and Brendan have good luck today. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, guys.
Should be fun to watch him coming from the back of the pack. Now, we'll have onboard cameras inside 7 other cars scattered throughout the field. And keep an eye on the one car, Mike Bliss, who starts back in 9th position. Bliss was the fastest car in final practice on Friday afternoon. Our over-the-wall reporter is a 15-year veteran tire changer. Mark Hollywood Armstrong joins us from the Stephen Wallace pits.
Hey, Mark, Andy Petrie here.
Hey, man, go ahead.
Have you got us? Hey, you guys, you've been changing tires for 15 years. How does a 42-year-old stay competitive down there on pit road with all these young guys?
Man, I tell you, you got a group like this right here, it's young behind you, and they keep you pumped up, and that's what it's all about. Get your adrenaline going, and, man, you can just throw the age right out the window and just go out and have a good day.
Okay, Mark, you can show us some good pictures today, and good luck, and stay safe down there.
Okay, man, this is in Vegas, and we're going to bring it to you. We're going to have a good day. Y'all have fun out there.
42 and still going strong. How about that? Now let's update some of the stories we'll be following today. First in the pits here is Shannon Spake.
Doc, after 2 races, Brad Keselowski, championship contenders, found himself 171 points behind points leader Kyle Busch. Now, the 88 team did struggle this weekend in practice. I spoke with crew chief Pop Urey Sr. He told me after making 15 changes to that car this morning, they are better. Mike?
Well, Shannon, in 2008, the 20 team won 9 races with 4 different drivers. But no victories came after crew chief Dave Rogers was suspended midsummer. In fact, their last win came in July at Daytona. The driver then, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin makes his first appearance in the Nationwide Series today, looking to bring that team back to victory lane. Jamie?
Well, Mike, it's been 17 years since a driver sat on the pole in his first ever Nationwide Series oval start. Scott Speed is the man today. Yesterday was the first time he's ever sat in a Nationwide car. Now, he says he's in this race just to get some experience, but hey, if practice and qualifying was any indication, he could get more than experience. He could get a win. Dave Burns?
Jamie, on pit road today, speed will be important, accuracy is a must, but decision-making may be at a premium. These tires have worn so well this weekend, the crew chiefs are telling me they may need to only change 2, or maybe not change any late in the race to keep their driver up in the queue, up in the finishing order, and win spots on pit road. Decision-making by these crew chiefs critical at the end of the day because of good tire wear. Doc?
Thanks, guys. Today's race is 300 miles, 200 laps. The pit window could get stretched a little bit.
Yeah, you got 50 to 55 laps that they can go on fuel, and that's what they're going to be doing. They're watching that fuel window. They may try to stretch it at the end.
Lining up behind the pace car, folks, for decades have been writing books about what happens in this town after dark. Today, we hope to give you some Vegas memories in the daylight. We're about to spin NASCAR's finest 200 times. And at the end, only one number will be a winner. Glad to have you with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy for the NASCAR Nationwide Series cars getting it done here just north of the famous Las Vegas Strip. Rookie Scott Speed alongside 32-time winner Kevin Harvick, bringing him down to the green flag.
Scott Speed missed that part in the driver's meeting where the flagman throws the flag and that starts the race.
He was ready to go on that start.
But that's to be expected from a young man getting his first pole.
First time ever in a car, we've documented the fact that he told me in the garage here, he said, I didn't even have oval track experience in open wheel. I ran all Formula One, which is on road courses.
It shows the talent this guy's got. They say he really knows how to make a car go fast. And I know he was wanting to get single file before he got down to turn one with those bumps that are down there. He didn't want a car on the outside of him here early.
Guy, here's a surprise early on. Back in 5th place, a car on the move behind these guys is that 18 car of Kyle Busch.
And he's trying to make up some spots here on the inside down the backstretch. Kind of surprising to see Kyle Busch not be right on the front row, but he didn't have a great draw for qualifying, and so he didn't get the best track conditions, but he'll make his way to the front pretty quick, I'm sure.
Yeah, between that later draw that he had and just having to be a little conservative with his lap because he wasn't locked into the field. He's got to get through these first 5 races before he's going to be in that position.
I'm impressed with Scott Speed so far. I mean, he's been able to lead this race. He's got Kevin Harvick hungry now on the bottom of the racetrack looking inside.
Well, I talked to Kevin Harvick yesterday, and he really thinks that this is going to be the weekend. He's tired of hearing about when are you going to win that first race for your team. He thinks this might be it.
Harvick takes the lead, and now Denny Hamlin looking to the inside for 2nd position. He will slide back behind Scott Speed.
If I'm Scott Speed's crew chief right here, I'm going to say, okay, we want to be up front, but don't take any chances. If these guys get a fender on you, let them have that spot and just try to learn from these guys.
Yeah, the more laps he can get here today and in this type of competition is only going to help him tomorrow, and that's exactly what he's here for today.
Yeah, these laps that he can run with these top guys, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin right here, he's right between these two guys. That's valuable experience. You don't get that without being right up front with these guys. You don't get it when you're running back in the pack. Look at Greg Biffle fight that car off the corner.
Out of control, gathers it back in, but will lose the 4th position to Kyle Busch. Little 3-wide action, the 27 car, Jason Keller on the inside of Morgan Shepherd. 28 car behind Shepherd is Kenny Wallace.
How about Morgan Shepherd now? He's digging with these guys. He's not riding around out there.
He's told me a number of times he's not coming out here to ride around. He came out here to race. He's got cars from Kevin Harvick, engines that Tony Stewart's helping him get for this race car. So he's out here putting on a great show and driving these cars hard.
There's somebody else has something to prove. Scott Wimmer, he wants to get this 40 car is not quite as good equipment as he's been used to with Childress, but he's looking for some good races here.
And last week at California, Scott Wimmer missed the show for only the 2nd time in his career. He came here hungry to be able to get a top 10 finish. David Reagan on the 6 car on the inside. That's Vickers in the 32. Whoa, trying to go 3 wide. No, he thinks better.
Yeah, looks like Vickers thought better of that, but he looked to the middle there for a second.
Yeah, that's a thought. The racetrack's wide enough right there. You just have to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. And as you get down the front stretch, it's plenty wide to do that. See Steve Wallace, he's struggling just a little bit. David Reagan right on the bottom, but Steve had a nice qualifying effort. We see another battle here for 2nd.
Here come the Gibbs cars.
Let's check in on the 99 car. Dave.
The first 6 laps for Scott Speed. Very good today, but a tight race car. As you see, he's getting passed yet again. Whoa. And now Denny Hamlin out of control, guys.
Spin in front of you, spin in front of you, stay up high. Straighten the wheel up, straighten the wheel up.
He does a complete 360.
Mike Bliss spinning behind. I didn't see it, but I would say Bliss probably was slowing down and got hit from behind there, maybe.
Yeah, there's a car that's got some smoke coming out. Looks like there's some contact.
So we do not make it 10 laps.
Looks like there's no damage on Hamlin's car, but it looked like that car just snapped around off the corner.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of rubber. Not a lot of rubber put down up in that top groove yet, and they haven't got a lot of the...
Oh, this Brad Keselowski here's got a lot of damage.
Wow. Brad has had a tough going here in these first 3 races of the season.
Thought he was going to have 2 top 10 finishes at Daytona and California, and then has trouble again today. Let's see if we can see what happened at 20. The car just suddenly snaps.
Yeah, he just made the pass on Scott Speed.
You can see he got just out of that black part of the racetrack and hung that right rear in the gray, where it's not very clean right now, especially early in the race.
Mike Bliss behind this. We'll see if he got a little tap.
Yeah, as everybody was trying to slow down here, kind of. Oh, you see, they just got together. And
Yeah, all these guys were just seeing what was happening in front and trying to get on the brakes and didn't see each other.
Mike Bliss, many in the garage area, said he's the sleeper to win it today. Here on lap number 8, already contact for the 1 car. He will spin it around as the first caution of the day waves at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
It's just Vegas. There's nothing like Las Vegas.
It's fake, it's not real. And for a handful of days, you get to be in a little dream place.
My favorite thing about Vegas is the stratosphere, because they got some awesome rides at the top. I haven't had a chance to go there since I've been 21 yet.
I always lose money there, so blackjack, roulette, you name it. My form of gambling is I just give them all my money.
You can only handle so much Vegas, so for me, it's just all about the racing.
The sights and sounds of the City of Lights, and here when you come to Las Vegas, there's only 2 groups of people. There's the people that are on top of the world, and there are those that are in the hole. And in the ladder category, the 88 car of Brad Keselowski, boy,
he's going to have to double up and catch up right here.
Trying to become a championship contender here in 2009, and here's what happened to him a moment ago on lap number 8.
See, these guys having a nice little battle here. They didn't expect to have somebody crashing up in front of them right here, and you can see it looked like Mike Bliss was actually trying to change lanes to avoid what was happening in front of him, not knowing that the 88 car was under.
Yeah, at that time, yeah, Denny Hamlin was spinning to the bottom, and Bliss was just trying to go to the high side, not knowing.
Yeah, you see a lot going on up here.
Junior snaking his way through this mess. Smoke, cars sliding. Let's see what Brad Keselowski saw.
The bottom, he's going to be coming back up the track there.
You can hear Brad was already out of the throttle.
Stay high, go low, go low.
You saw
we
Mike
got
Bliss,
right front damage there, got run into.
Mike Bliss saw what was happening, and he needed to move. He needed to change lanes right there, and had to make a quick decision. Just had to be a car on the outside.
Brad Keselowski's not had the best beginning in 2009. He thought he would have back-to-back top 10 finishes or better at Daytona. He was 5th with 12 laps to go, had a right front tire go down, finished 22nd. At California, running 7th with 50 laps to go, contact from behind, and you saw that produced a 27th place finish.
Yeah, it's not been the start he was looking for. They're going to try to get the best out of this thing. They're still early. They're going to try to stay on the racetrack and get as good a finish as possible. Hey, Dave, have you got something more on Scott Speed?
Well, guys, there was a talk about perhaps some water on the racetrack, and Scott Speed in the 99 did radio to his crew that he had water coming from somewhere. I confirmed on top of the pit box that they did have some overheating issues on the 99, just barely, so it was spouting some water. Don't know if that could have contributed to what happened with Denny Hamlin. Denny came over the radio and said, I just overdrove it, but a lot of contributing factors may be happening down here.
Denny's probably saying, yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, since he was in front of that 99 car, but I don't know.
Unless it was squirting water way up in front of him somewhere. If you just joined our coverage, Scott Speed in the 99 car shocked him here on Friday, becoming the 9th different driver in series history to win the pole in his very first start here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. He led the first 2 laps. Kevin Harvick has led since in that 33 car. Kevin trying to get his first win in a KHI car. Here's the 88 back on pit road.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity here. This is a long caution, a lot of laps, so they're going to get a lot of work done here. Hopefully they can get this car halfway competitive. You don't expect they'll get it good enough to be a contender, but they can get it where it'll make decent laps. They can get something of a finish here.
Yeah, they just have to salvage the most that they possibly can. There's a lot of good work going on right there. And again, it's not going to be the day that Brad was looking for, as he had a chance to win last year and got involved in a late race accident, so hasn't been very kind to him.
Kevin Harvick has looked good early, but if he looks in his mirror, he's going to see Kyle Busch. We'll get to gauge his performance of his car right here and see how he's going to stack up.
Well, he ran 2 races in California last Saturday, and already somebody else has led more laps than what they did both of those races combined, other than Kyle. So. Again, speaking with Kevin Hart, he was very, very sure of himself that he thought this might happen. He was talking about the great week that they had last week. He addressed the pit road problems that they had, but they had a great stop at the end. But he was very confident that this might be the weekend.
Let's go down into the 88 pits. Dave.
Tony Eury calls the shots for Brad Keselowski. Pops, Can you express the level of frustration with the beginning of this season?
No, not really. I guess you have them kind of days or years or whatever you want to call it, but hey, we'll overcome it. We've got a good race team here. We just keep putting ourselves in the wrong situations, and we got to do a better job at that.
All right, they went to work on the race car, guys. They got it back to where Brad could get up to speed, but it'll be a handful the rest of the day, and probably not going to be able to compete at the front of the field, Doc.
Thank you, Dave. The 88 car will go to the tail end. Also back there, adding insult to injury, is the 20 car. Too fast coming on pit road. Denny Hamlin will have a long way to go as well. Green flag. Kevin Harvick will lead him down. Kyle Busch, Scott Speed, Carl Edwards, and Biffle, the top 5. Carl Edwards sliding on the inside of the 99 car to take the spot away, and he'll see if he can keep the door open long enough for Greg Biffle to get there.
Looks like Speed got a good run off the corner, though. Pulls all the way even with Carl, even ahead of him getting in the corner.
Yeah, that's that high line that we talked about in the countdown show that a lot of these guys utilizing. With this new progressive banking, it really opens that up.
Well, we heard him talking to, or saw him talking to Dale Earnhardt Jr. about that high line because he's not used to running up there, but he's doing a good job right here.
Well, did they get the 88 car fixed with all the damage? I don't think so. We're hearing they may have a tire rub on the Brad Keselowski machine. Let's watch the car go in the corner. Yep, left front.
Definitely got some issues there they're going to have to address. They're going to have to keep working on this car. They're probably going to end up losing some laps and have to get in here and work on it.
Going away, I think, at 10-4. A lot less smoke that time.
You can see there Carl Edwards didn't make that pass on Scott Speed and actually cost him another spot as Brian Vickers went by.
Well, stay up high, Brad. You got one coming there. One coming there. Caution's out. Caution's out. Slow down there. Slow down there. I'll get you down here. You're slowing way down.
Now, this is the problem. When you think a tire rub's going to go away, they hardly ever do. And they had a rub and it cut that left front tire down.
Well, the day goes from bad to worse for Brad Keselowski, and that's sort of been the story of his 2009 season. Daytona, contact with the wall, again at California, and now twice today in the first 15 laps. Started to head back to the garage area. Now we'll think better of it and bring it out. Here's what happened a moment ago.
You can see that left front tire just goes, and nothing Brad can do but ride it to the wall.
This was supposed to be a championship season, and it may be yet for Brad Keselowski. Oh my, he will not forget his latest trip to Las Vegas.
When you open up the Las Vegas Motor Speedway record books, the name Mark Martin is very prominent, especially in this nationwide series. 3 times he's been to victory lane here. That was the first one. That's a little while ago. It didn't seem to matter what the color on the car was. Didn't even seem to matter what the make of the car was. If Mark got behind the wheel of it here at Vegas, he went to victory lane. That one for Jack Roush. This one for Junior Motorsports, Dale Jr. and Rick Hendrick. And that is the defending winner of this race, Mark Martin, who joins Brad and I in the ESPN pit studio. When you're not racing these races, are you one of the people that just sits there and watches them to try and see what you see for Sunday?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a fan, man. I watch every race.
This racetrack, you've had so much success at over the years before they reconfigured it. Now that they have reconfigured it, you ever been able to put your finger on what it is about this place that's just suited you?
No, you know, different drivers have better results at different places, and this is one of those places that, you know, I've gotten a lot of good results from. I liked the old racetrack. I wish they hadn't have reconfigured, but the racetrack is really starting to get good right now, and my car feels great, and I look forward to the race tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great race.
Well, you know, I've thrown the albatross already around your neck this year. I've picked you to win the championship. So you got to deal with that, but that's okay. That's all right.
High expectations.
Absolutely. Will we ever see you back in the Nationwide Series running the hot rod around again?
Absolutely. I'll be in the Lipton Iced Tea number 5 car at Richmond in May.
Wonderful.
So I'm excited about that. I only have 1 race on the docket this year. Would like to have more, but that's the number that we got this year.
Great.
Is what it is under circumstances, right? Let's talk about this race that we're going to watch unfold today. I was asking you during the commercial break about the bumps on this racetrack. DJ and Andy have mentioned the bumps, and we see a lot of these drivers seem to have their hands full in these cars around the racetrack. Why?
Ever since they repaved this place, the bumps in 1 were severe. And, you know, I don't think they're getting worse. I think the setups we run just, you know, really magnify the problem. And they are huge going into one, and that's a good thing because we've worked really hard, and I think that you know, with our number 5 car, I think we've got them riding the bumps better than most down there.
Yeah.
There may be a few that are getting around a little better, but we're definitely. I ran around a lot of race cars in practice, and I outran most of them.
There you go. Mark, starting, where's my lineup here for tomorrow's race? No, that's today's race. There's tomorrow. Hey, thank you. I was looking at today's race, and I saw the 5 car, and I said, no, that's not it. That's tomorrow.
What kind of race will we see tomorrow? What do you think will happen tomorrow?
I think this race is going to be awesome. I think the racetrack is so ready for our cars. You know, I think the nationwide race will be awesome, but I think that the Cup race is even going to be better. Really, I think the racetrack will widen out today in the nationwide race, and the cars, the COTs really need that. And it was already widening out 2 grooves today, and actually the preferred groove was in the middle of the racetrack. So that makes for interesting racing when the preferred groove isn't on the bottom, and I think it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Want to talk to you a little bit more about tomorrow's race and what you're seeing in today's race. If you hang with us for a couple minutes, we're getting ready for a restart. While they're working on Brad Keselowski's 88 car back in the garage area, never a good sign. Let us head upstairs and get the restart, Doc.
Getting set to go back to green here. Thanks, guys. We'll look forward to visiting with Mark here in just a moment. Kevin Harvick will lead him down. He has been the second leader today. There have only been 2, he and pole sitter Scott Speed, but the guy right behind Harvick, Kyle Busch, has it in his mind to make it 3 leaders before this lap is up.
He's going to be digging hard. You can see Harvick, though, getting off the corner real well. Got a good jump on the start.
Scott Speed's still there in that 3rd spot. We heard him talk about that he had a little bit of a tight situation with his race car here early. And that doesn't surprise me because he qualified so well, and generally that's going to happen in that situation. But he's been able to stay right there in the top 5, and they'll be able to take a little bit of that tightness out whenever they do make a pit stop.
He's hanging right in there. I mean, he's running up on the racetrack a little bit, which I think is fitting his car's setup. You see Kyle Busch now right on the bottom of the racetrack trying to work underneath Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, and as we showed then, we were talking about those bumps. Here goes Kyle Busch trying to make a pass for the lead. We'll see if Kevin Harvick holds him off on that outside. I believe he'll be able to do that. Oh, Kyle Busch loses it.
Spins right up in front of Scott Speed, who hammers him hard.
All right, it's killed.
Brendan Gaughan spinning. Justin Allgaier down pit road, the rookie, avoiding the crash.
That was almost what we saw Denny Hamlin do. That car just snapped around.
You just have to be so careful. You get on the inside with these cars, they're so aero sensitive along with the bumps, and you have to drive them so hard, get so much gas to them, just you lose traction quickly, and that's exactly what we saw there from Kyle Busch.
You know, Kevin Harvick just doing all he could to stay on the outside, and that kind of put Kyle Busch in a little difficult situation getting off the corner there where his car is pretty loose.
There is no home field advantage.
Supposed to get per race too early. That's my fault.
For Kyle Busch, let's show you again what happened here on the inside of the racetrack, inside of Harvick coming in turn 4.
And you can see he got that left front tire down on the white line there, and that'll make the car turn just a little bit better, and that just got him loose. He lost the aero because the car was on the outside of him, and we heard Kyle say there he just racing a little bit too hard for that point in time of the race, and it was his fault.
That was a hard lick too, and just a tough break for Scott Speed, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Only 1 top 10 finish and 5 starts at this racetrack for Kyle Busch, and that was second a couple of years ago. Otherwise, his average finish is 20th. And that will not help the average. Scott Speed had nowhere to go, and he comes up and slaps the wall and the 18 car. Brendan Gaughan spinning down across. Looks to be undamaged. And caution number 3 on the day. This kind of hard impact will bring out the red flag for repairs here at Las Vegas. Back in a moment. Judgment Week continues on ESPN tonight from the Pac-10 Conference. That potent UCLA Bruin offense against rival California. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV as part of Judgment Week on ESPN. 9 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Red flag is out because of heavy damage and pickup of some of the debris on the racetrack. There's what's left of the 18 car, a brand new Toyota entering today. And there is the pole sitter's car, the 99 car, Michael Waltrip racing another brand new car. that will need some serious repairs. Now, it has been Judgment Day already for two of our series championship contenders, one of them now standing by with Mike Massaro.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about Brad Keselowski, Doc, who was involved in an earlier incident. Brad, what happened?
You know, the 20 cars spun out there, and I was side by side, and these cars at this style of racetrack, just too line sensitive, too out of control. If you're not right in the line, you're gonna wreck. And you know, the one car was right beside me. We lifted, and we both got sideways from lifting. The way these cars drive. So not really his fault. I don't know what I could have done differently. You know, it's just the way these cars are, and that's unfortunate. This is a great Klondike Chevrolet, and it's tore up. You know, we've had 3 great race cars to start the season, and just can't seem to close the deal. But my team has done an awesome job, and it's certainly no fault of theirs. Just a little bit of racing luck, and man, when it turns around, though, I know we'll be good. I know we'll get up there and run up front.
And Doc, he has a pretty torn up race car, but they are working on it. They're going to try to get him back out there on the track.
They will get that car back out. Got to believe he'll be back on the racetrack right now, being shown in 26th position in the points. We have completed 22 laps here in the Samstown 300. Just joined our coverage. We have had 3 caution flags and now a red flag here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
We have had a lot of action since they dropped the green flag here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Some of the best in the business finding turn 4 to be very tricky in the early laps. We've only run 22 laps, already had 3 caution flags. Among those involved, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Mike Bliss, and there Kyle Busch. Piling into the outside wall off turn 4. Kyle has come from the medical center and is with Jamie Little now.
And it was a heck of a battle up front, 4 position. The front of the field with Kevin Harvick, and you lost it. Your day's over. What happened, Kyle?
Just a mistake on my part, battling for the lead that early in the race. Just should have known that for as good as the Z-Line Designs Toyota was driving, to just ride and you know, tried getting on the inside of Harvick there and got all the air taken off my side and spun out. So 100% my fault trying to race for the lead.
It was a hard lick. How are you feeling physically?
I'm fine.
All right, guys, tough day. It's a big hit in the points, Alan. As you know, he's running for the championship.
Yeah, Carl Edwards and Kyle figuring to have a season-long rivalry for the Nationwide Series title, and Kyle out early here today. Carl Edwards running 3rd. And I guess the thing that surprises me the most, what I said just a minute ago, is we talk with Mark Martin, the defending winner of this race, inside our ESPN pit studio. It's not like these are backmarker guys that are spinning out there off turn 4, Mark. We've seen Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch crash off that corner.
Well, these guys are up on the wheel. And, you know, you really got to be careful. They're treacherous when the tires are cold and they're full of gas. If you make that car turn when it's got laps on the tires and gas burned off, it's going to be treacherous, and you have to really be careful in traffic.
Well, we hate to see those guys sliding around like that. I'm going to my over and under bet's not safe, by the way. Hey, now you got a new sponsor for tomorrow.
Pop-Tarts is on the hood.
Oh, man.
And I got something to show you. The hood is on the Pop-Tart.
Oh, is that right?
And you were saying...
Wow, look at that.
You wanted... I'm not sure that I want you to eat that, though. That's pretty nice.
Look at that. That's got Mark Martin's race car on it.
That's right. And
they're trying to get you pointed at a camera where they can zoom in on it, right?
How cool is that, man?
There
that is cool. Can I have it?
Moms can get those for their kids at the grocery store.
Are you going to eat it, Brad?
You can have
it. Run them or eat it. If you let me keep it.
Just don't let me see you eat it. Wait till I turn my head.
Mark, you have all kinds of people talking about you winning the championship. While we were in commercial before, Doc Punch said, yeah, we'll talk with tomorrow's race winner in just a minute. It's just amongst us. What's it like to you to hear all people like us saying, man, we just think he's going to be so good this year?
It just feels warm. You know, it feels really, really good. It's so much fun to be a part of Hendrick Motorsports and go do the debriefings with, you know, NASCAR's greats like Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and all the crew chiefs and all the great staff and, you know, all our sponsors, you know, Kellogg's, CarQuest, all our teammates out there at the CarQuest outlets and everything. And to me, it's just a dream come true. Now, meeting those expectations are a little bit of pressure. I will say that I have gotten a little sick of my stomach on Fridays on qualifying day. We had an awesome race car. Had a not so great draw yesterday, the first car out, and we had a good enough car to still wind up 8th. But you know, I think we're going to have a great year. It's awesome. Alan Gustafson is the smartest guy, you know, I have ever worked with. I mean, he is really on it. So I think that our cars will get better the more that we work together and figure out what I like.
You're not too bad a race car driver either, Mark.
Well, I've got a better race team than, I think than they've got a driver right now.
All right, Mark, thanks for the time coming by. We wish you well tomorrow and throughout the season. As you can see, they've rescinded the red flag. The cars are back under the yellow flag. Pit road will be open in a minute. And the other driver involved in that big wreck a minute ago is with Jamie.
And another hard hit, and the good news, he has been released. Scott, what happened?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I had another car on the racetrack. I mean, it was a racing thing, you know. I think the 18, you know, spun out, you know, being really, you know, pinched down by the 33 on the bottom of 4. Same thing that happened to the 20, exact same thing happened to the 20. And we just were in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, you know, at least we were fast. I mean, the car was running good. I mean, we were definitely really tight at the beginning to stay in the lead. But it was coming together for sure. I mean, I think we were going to have a really good car tonight or today. But it happens.
All right, Alan, he told me he's feeling okay. That was a big hit, and it took a while to get out, but he's walking away.
All right, so pit road is open, and we'll see if anybody comes down pit road. Remember, Andy was talking earlier about this new tire that Goodyear's brought, harder right side tire, expecting they can run it more than one pit stop. We're about halfway through a fuel run, but a lot of these laps have been under the caution flag. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll see a lot of the front runners in or not. Guess we'll find out here in a couple seconds.
Well, I think you're right, and Mark made a great point on this tire. You know, what we have is a race car that's running wide open basically around this racetrack. So we're trying to have some longevity in this tire. Goodyear's done a great job bringing a very durable product. So the guys have to make adjustments on this tire and compensate for their loose, you know, when the cars are loose, not to overdrive.
Little indecision there around the old commitment cone down at the entry to pit road. Most of the front runners stay out. You see a lot of the back half of the lead lap cars coming down the pit lane for some service. So that's going to shuffle up the running order minimally. But Brendan Gaughan, one of those coming in to let his team get a look at the car. Remember, he was involved in the secondary spin a minute ago.
Yeah, he got bumped from behind and got spun there, had a little damage to the rear end, but I think he's got that straightened up. So he should get that hot rod neatened up, get back out on the racetrack. Should be a factor before the day's over.
Watching them go to work.
They're getting after it, aren't they? I'll tell you what, this is where they earn their money, right here, and this is so important. You know, every weekend we watch the pit guys get guys on and off pit road, gain them spots, gain them positions. It's just as important as the race car being good.
All right, so we're done with the pit stop. Now it's time to repair the damage on the left rear corner of the car. And just another refresher as to what happened to Brendan Gaughan in the secondary spin. Kyle Busch spinning, racing for the lead ahead of him, collecting Scott Speed. And then in the traffic jam up behind, here's where Brendan gets turned around.
See him right there. Michael McDowell just gets into the rear end of him as everyone's checking up, gives him a toss down pit road. Knocks some of the rear paneling loose, but the guys get that 100-mile-an-hour tape on it, and he'll be back out there as good as gold.
Earlier, before the pit road was open, David Reagan was on the pit lane getting repairs made to his car from some of the jam-up damage, and he will have to start at tail end of the longest line. As we get ready to go racing, Kevin Harvick, the leader, kind of easy to forget that, Doc, with everything else that's going on.
Trying to stay under the radar, guys. Kevin Harvick has led now 22 of the 24 laps. Scott Speed led the first 2 from the pole. Ryan Vickers behind him. Carl Edwards is third. Biffle and now Jeff Burton all the way up in the top 5. Dale Earnhardt Jr. now digging on the bottom of the racetrack for 6th position.
He's trying to get under Stephen Wallace, but that high line is really working well here early in the race. And these guys are going to have to let these things kind of sort out, because we've seen some really good drivers spin out, just like we heard him say downstairs.
Stephen Wallace will take that position away from Earnhardt Jr. Wallace has had a really good car all weekend. There's Jr. in the 5 car in 6. Behind him is the rookie Justin Allgaier. A lot of people in the garage, DJ, thought Allgaier could have his first top 5 here today, or maybe better.
Absolutely. Shown a lot of promise. Done a really good job in the first 2 races, and in practice was very good. You know, what I liked watching there with Stephen Wallace, too, was he got passed on the outside in one of the earlier restarts, and so the young man learned about that. But Justin Allgaier is really a talent we're going to be able to keep an eye on. I think he'll win a race in this car this year in this series.
Caution is out. Back it down. Back it down.
Scramble of cars in turn 4, the 09. John West Townley has had contact with the concrete, does not get hit by other cars, fortunately, as they went above and below him, but we have caution now for the 4th time.
A lot of guys did a great job to miss that. Brendan Gaughan had made that pit stop and was coming up from the back, and
take it to the garage.
avoided that car.
To the garage. Take a set of tires to the garage.
Brad might need to get a halftime bet on this over-under deal. He might have to go for the second half of the race.
Yeah, he's going to lose that one, I'm afraid. And we're on board here with Mike Bliss. See how he's going down in the corner here. He's got a good look at this 09. He just gets a little bit loose, goes around.
Spin behind you, spin behind you.
I don't think Bliss got into him there. And that's the other danger. We talk about that high line. You have to be really careful right there. Now here's Brendan Gaughan here.
Just up on the outside of Joe Nemechek.
He just put on tires too. You have to be really careful in that situation. He obviously has to miss the wreck, but you don't want to run over anything from a previous wreck up there either. He's already used up one set of tires, and that's the problem. I see all of these guys having these problems early, spinning out and things. They're using up a set of tires that these other guys are going to have for later on.
Well, the good news is that if they don't spin out, these tires will last a long time. We saw Brendan Gaughan have to come down pit road because he did spin out and possibly flat spotted him, so they had to change him.
Rookie John West Townley being helped out of his car after a hard lick. He had never been to Las Vegas, and he may want to forget this day. Lap 28, caution number 4, the rookie in the wall.
Back at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, pit stops underway. Carl Edwards in for service, gas only. He only has 14 green flag laps on the tires, so they'll keep the originals on as he rolls away. Jamie?
And race leader Kevin Harvick's happy with this car. They're going to do Sunoco fuel only. Dave?
Brian Vickers wants tires. They'll take 2 at the start. The car was just a little bit tight from the center off. Track bar adjustment as well. They are slow on that right side, and he'll just stay with 2 as he leaves behind Justin Allgaier.
Stampede off of pit road, and there is the race off of pit road. Biffle up 3 positions. Harvick lost a spot. Denny Hamlin, who's come up from the back of the field and already gotten his way back in the top 15, up 9 spots. Only 15 cars stayed on the racetrack. Everyone else came on to pit road, and now we're being told the 16 car of Biffle too fast on exit, and the 40 car coming off pit road. That is Scott Wimmer. There is Biffle.
There was 2 cars we saw on pit road take tires. The 32 car of Brian Vickers took 2 tires, and the 66 of Stephen Wallace took 4. But everybody else looked like they just took fuel.
Jeff Burton also got tires in the 29 car.
This was an opportunity for some of the guys that pitted earlier just in that last caution to stay out and gain some spots. And so we see the field being shuffled up a little bit here.
Yeah, this one things get interesting here.
Kelly Byers among those cars that did not come down pit road. Byers there. Bliss is behind him as they are directly in behind the pace car. The start has been waved off. NASCAR trying to get everyone back in the correct positions. 30 laps in of 200 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. ABC and ESPN are your NBA destination Sunday. First, Allen Iverson, the Detroit Pistons. Will Iverson be there? Well, maybe. They roll into Boston to take on Paul Pierce and the Celtics. Stephon Marbury returns to the hardwood. And what a performance he put on last night with a Celtics star-studded lineup. Then Kobe Bryant and the Lakers take on Shaquille O'Neal and the Suns. All the action on ESPN when King James and the Cavaliers face the Hawks. The NBA on ABC and ESPN tomorrow. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with a GMC NBA countdown. Mentioned Allen Iverson, by the way. Brendan Gaughan in this race here. That was the roommate of Allen Iverson at Georgetown when he played basketball there. They were roommates on the road under Big John Thompson.
He's got great stories when he played basketball there. He's fun just to stand and talk to and listen to everything that went on. And not a lot of people know that about Brendan, but a really good athlete.
There's Brendan Gaughan. He played football and basketball at Georgetown. He's been involved in several of the shunts here. We have just had 31 laps. If you just joined our coverage, we have already been under caution 4 times, and we have actually run 17 of the 32 laps under the yellow flag.
It's been a tough start so far, and it's not looking any better on this restart because you've got the fast cars behind some of these slower cars. It's going to be a shuffle here in the beginning.
It'll be a shuffle. And these guys just have to drive these cars so hard here with these tapered spacers. And as rough as the track is and the little amount of grip that it has, it creates a lot of these problems.
Green flag, and Mike Bliss will lead him down. Bliss was involved in the first caution flag after the 20 car spun and had a little bit of sheet metal damage. He spun around now, has come back after pit stops to lead him off of turn 2 here on lap 32.
And this is when you have a really good car like Kevin Harvick and those guys that made a pit stop. You have to really, really be patient at this point in time and realize that this isn't going to be the end of the race by any means. You got a lot of racing left, but you can actually lose the race right here if you're not careful.
It's a great break for Mike Bliss. He was involved in one of those early wrecks we had. Now he's out front. Now we got some 3-wide action right here with Carl Edwards on the inside of Allgaier.
Like I said, they're going to take it easy and work their way up through there.
Yeah, no hurry at all for those guys. They're already back to 12th position. That's Edwards in the 60, DJ Kennington on the 81 on the outside.
Yeah, Carl, just pick them off 6 at a time here.
Man, they're going 3 wide everywhere here.
Brendan Gaughan up on the outside of the 87 car. Nemechek, he will shut the door.
Harvick's moving up through there. He made it 3 wide going into turn 3, made pass, and got himself up to in the 4th spot already.
These guys are probably saying, we don't get many green flag laps, might as well use them up while we can.
Yeah, make the most of them.
And this is great. These tires are working this well here. You know, Goodyear developed this tire around the Cup car, so they had to make a tougher tire to accommodate those cars, and it's working out great for these nationwide cars.
There's the 5 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in behind the 29 of Jeff Burton as they are being shown in 18th and 19th.
Looks like Kenny Hendrick got up against the wall just a little bit coming off 4. We can hear Earnhardt Jr. feathering that throttle, getting up off the corner here, trying to be careful around these guys.
Remember, it was here a year ago that 5 car got its first win for JR Motorsports with Mark Martin aboard.
Yeah, and the other thing, you heard Mark Martin talk just a while ago during the commercial or during the caution that the guys have to really be careful. These guys that just put fuel in these cars have older tires with full load of fuel. That creates a really loose situation with these cars. So that's why you're hearing Earnhardt Jr. also feather the gas a little bit.
All the way down across the bottom of the racetrack trying to make a move. That is Stephen Wallace, and 6th position here. Brendan Gaughan up high, Carl Edwards on the bottom.
Brendan Gaughan's doing a really good job in this race car. He had no laps of practice in it whatsoever after his practice incident yesterday.
It's been an uphill battle all day, really. He had to start in the backup car, got one of the early spins, but used that as a little strategy play to get up front now, and he's running with the leader.
There are 6th and 7th place. Let's go back up and show you where our leader is. Mike Bliss, who has said, see ya. Bliss in a scratched up Chevy. Dave.
And of course he has some damage, but still running very well in a car that they're familiar with. They ran this at California until they had problems late. Now he pitted early to fix the damage, put on 4 tires on lap 9, and then topped off for fuel as late as lap 19. So if you count 60 laps as maybe a huge maximum, he could get to lap 79 before he has to pit again, maybe back to 75 or 77 just to be safe.
There's Kevin Harvick. Thanks, Dave. Back in 2nd spot. Harvick had led 28 of the 38 laps. And again, the story for Kevin Harvick, driving his own car. He has never won, although he has 32 series victories, never won in his own Kevin Harvick Incorporated car. And oh, by the way, happy anniversary to Kevin and Delana Harvick, married 8 years ago today, right here in Las Vegas. Working lap 45 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick now easing in on Mike Bliss for the lead. Our race recap, the current leader is, of course, Bliss, who had that pit stop on lap 9 and stayed out on the previous caution. The biggest mover, Scott Lagasse Jr., coming off that career best 12th place finish last week at California. And, of course, Mike Bliss, the nationwide only regular, running up front. There have been 4 caution flags. The average race speed way down because of all the yellow flags. And Kyle Busch running for the championship in the garage area out of the race with a damaged Toyota. Kevin Harvick trying to go back up front and retake the lead. And we asked Kevin Harvick about his goals in the NASCAR Nationwide Series this year.
Well, unfortunately, the goal is the same. Win our first race. I think we've made our team better. I think we've made a lot of good adjustments with personnel and making the cars better and doing things that we needed to do to just close the deal. We were in position to win a lot of races last year. We just always screwed something up, and we just got to quit making mistakes, and hopefully we've done that.
When he refers to winning his first race, he's talking about winning his first race in his own car. Yes, he is a 32-time winner in the series. His best finish in this car has been second 3 times, including last week at California.
So taking a look underneath Mike Bliss down the backstretch here.
He's in that same position that Kyle Busch was in, but Mike Bliss lets him go there. Doesn't push the issue right down. He knows that Kevin's a little bit faster, just fell back in line.
These two have stretched out a pretty good lead, but Carl Edwards has been chewing into it while these guys are racing each other. Carl right now has the fastest car on the racetrack.
Carl right now being shown about a second, 1.9 seconds back. He was almost 3 seconds back 4 laps ago, Andy. You're right. He is really closing in. There's a 60 car of Edwards.
He's working a little higher line through both ends of the racetrack, it looks like, Dale. I'm not sure that that's not the best groove right now.
Yeah, and you know, we heard Mark Martin talk about earlier in his practice session, he thought that the middle groove was a little bit better, and that's basically what Carl is doing right here, and it seems to be carrying a little bit more momentum and speed around here, as he's about 1.5 to 2 tenths a lap quicker than those two guys in front of him.
More on Carl Edwards, Mike.
Well, Doc, I was listening to you guys in the booth a little bit earlier talking about how Goodyear did such a great job testing here and developing this tire. Well, Carl Edwards was part of that test back in January, and while his crew chief Dan Stillman says that not much of it really translated to the nationwide side, I'm still a little bit curious, Andy and DJ. How much do you think they got out of that tire test that might be helping them today?
I think they get a lot out of a tire test, Mike. Even though it's not on the same kind of car, there's a lot of things about the tire and the racetrack that you can learn. Air pressure wise, balance wise, there's things you can, you know, the characteristics of the tire will make you make changes on the car.
Yeah, and as a driver, you get a feel for that and know exactly a lot more what to expect from it. And so I think they gather a lot of information from that.
Carl Edwards back in 3rd position, but rapidly moving in on the top 2. So why don't we let Nationwide take you up to speed, beginning with our leader, Kevin Harvick. Let's go down to Jamie.
Well, Doc, you mentioned it. Today is Kevin Harvick's anniversary. What a great present it would be for he and his wife, Delana Harvick, who co-own KHI Motorsports. So far, so good. It's been all about Harvick today. The car is good. On the last stop, though, we got a little frustrated on his pit road speed, but he's back up to form. Dave?
With a ban on testing, some teams come to the track with trying things that are kind of outside the box. Mike Bliss told me this morning that they come to the track knowing what they know, not trying things to start out with, and maybe that's why they were able to fix this race car and get it back up to performing as it has so far. Running second, he describes the car as tight loose. Yes, you can be both. Mike?
Dave, earlier this week, Roush Fenway competition director Mike Beam gave a little bit of a motivational speech to the team. He said, hey, we're not here to participate, we're here to dominate. Noting to everyone on the team they expect victories and nothing short of that. Right now, Carl Edwards very happy with his car, just saying it's only a little bit tight. Turns 3 and 4, Dave.
Behind these guys, just a few car lengths. There's Brian Vickers. He took 2 tires that last stop. He says it's a little bit better, but it's still a little bit tight in the center of the corner. He reported that on about lap 42. So Vickers running very well in that 32 car. Jamie?
And what a great day so far for Brian Vickers. Of course, this is a place. He was on the pole here last year. You see him in the shot. And right behind him, though, Justin Allgaier on the 12 car. He's running the full season for Roger Penske. Of course, this season, it's only his 2nd start in the Nationwide Series. He started 11th today. Highest running rookie right now. So far, so good. Dave?
Denny Hamlin running behind him for the first time in that 20 car since he won at Daytona the summer of last year. Now, that car, they didn't take any tires on that last pit stop. Fuel only for Denny, so this will be a great indication of how well these tires are wearing. They made the decision based on that. We'll see what they look like next time they come off. Mike?
After an early race spin, Brendan Gaughan trying to rally. He's now back inside the top 10, trying to put on a show for the hometown faithful. Keep in mind, he's got a lot of pressure here. He acquired over 100 tickets for this particular event for friends and family. He wants to put on a show. Jamie?
And Michael McDowell right behind him having a good day as well in the 47 car. Became a dad for the first time this week, and it's paying off. He started 16th. Car is running well for Michael McDowell. Right behind him, Greg Biffle. Believe it or not, guys, he is under the weather. I asked him right before he got in the car. He said, I am feeling worse by the second. Hopefully that adrenaline's kicking in, but they seem to think they have a car that can win today. Shannon?
Back up front, guys. Thank you. Here goes the 60 car of Edwards to take the lead away.
Man, he just blasted by Kevin Harvick right there. He's found something with his car and setup here. It's working great.
And he's just motoring through. He was running faster lap times even as he was catching Mike Bliss, passing him. You can see he's just a little bit loose right there as he tried to turn down under Joe Nemechek.
Like Harvick might get it back here.
Yeah, a little bit of 3 wide action here.
Got to be careful, just like you said earlier.
Yeah, you can see Harvick back out.
Smart to back off right there.
Bliss back in 3rd spot. By the way, the 88 car back in the race. Brad Keselowski, who had gone out, now being shown 40 laps down. There he comes back down pit road in 41st position. There are currently 7 cars out of the race and a flat tire on the 1 car of Bliss.
And they had this happen last week also. Not much luck for these guys either.
But they had some damage on the right side from an earlier incident, and that may be rubbing a tire. It could have cut one down.
Last week, a flat left rear tire got a lap down, had to get the lucky dog, and drove it all the way back to finish 13th at California. Here he comes on the pit road.
Looks like they got a right rear tire down. He's going to have to take it easy now and get this thing on pit road.
Yeah, he's having to be careful because he can't go too fast there, and also he doesn't want that tire to come apart and rip the quarter panel off the car.
So Bliss will come down pit road to get fresh rubber under the green flag. He was running in 3rd position. Carl Edwards now becomes our 5th different leader today at Las Vegas. It is Edwards, Harvick, Vickers, Hamlin, and the rookie Allgaier. Judgment Week continues on ESPN tonight. A key Pac-10 matchup, the potent UCLA Bruin offense against rival California. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV as part of Judgment Week on ESPN at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Riding along with Brendan Gaughan, former college basketball player for the Georgetown Hoyas. By the way, he's happy his Hoyas won today, upset Villanova. Earlier here on the family of networks. Carl Edwards is our leader. There's Carl. Kevin Harvick now about a second behind him. Vickers, Denny Hamlin, and Greg Biffle, guys, has come from the back of the field after speeding off of pit road all the way to 5th position.
He's trying to make up some of those spots he lost his team there by speeding off pit road. See Carl Edwards now working way down on the bottom of the racetrack under a lap car, Tony Raines. But Biffle's had consistently the fastest car for the last 10 to 15 laps. I mean, he's really moving up through the field nice. Saw him passing 2 and 3 wide, coming through the tri-oval. He's caught Denny Hamlin in this 20 car.
Yeah, he's just been past him wherever he came. He's running extremely fast lap times and dealing with traffic at the same time.
And if you just joined our coverage, Jamie Little reported a moment ago that Greg Biffle is under the weather, has some kind of flu-like syndrome, or symptoms, so they may want to spray him with flu every week because he is driving the wheels off that Ford.
Caution's out. Got to spin down the back. Caution's out.
Yeah, we've got a car spinning the wall here.
Caution number 5, and here's Stephen Wallace spinning as well.
Like that was Scott Gaylord that had been in the wall. Now Stephen Wallace got some damage to his right front.
There's the 5-car Dale Earnhardt Jr. We are hearing from spotters there may have been some contact among a couple of these cars, several of these cars. They were trying to get slowed down. The 52 car is who spun.
Now get that right front looked at.
Or hit the wall to bring out the caution flag. There is Scott Gaylord's car.
Yeah, just looking at Steve Wallace's car, it looks like possibly there's a lot of oil.
Yeah, you see a lot of fluid coming out of this 52 car. Could have been part of the secondary wreck we saw with Stephen Wallace. Actually, has a little contact with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, that's looking out the back of the 5 cars they were coming by.
If he slowed down to as the caution came out and Steve just didn't slow down, or if they were just racing right there and got together.
Lucky Dog is the 34 car. Tony Raines, he's the first car 1 lap down, so he was the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass winner. He'll get to go back around and get back on the lead lap. That'll put us now with 19 cars on the lead lap. There's 12 cars being shown 1 lap down, including Brian Keselowski, the older brother of Brad, who's having a great run in his 26 car. Scott Wimmer is back there. And boy, the 66 car guy's getting stuck on pit road.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a lap right there. That's a tough break for Steven. He had a great car, but it's going to go a lap down right here.
Also, NASCAR saying he had a commitment line violation, so he will have to start at the back of the pack anyway. Five caution flags on the day, a red flag. We've had a couple, it's not been a good day for some of the heavy hitters in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. The 18 car, Kyle Busch in the garage area. This team, though, Carl Edwards, former series champion, having a good day. Well, what about pit stops? What's going to happen down there, guys? Let's check in with Mike.
Well, Carl Edwards real happy with his race car. He was discussing with Dan Stillman about changes not too long ago. They're only going to make a slight adjustment. He wants to be freed up a little bit in the center. Expect a track bar adjustment and 4 tires on the 60. Doc?
Pits are still closed down there because of that cleanup just at the entrance of pit road, so NASCAR wants to hold them from coming down so they get all that safety, the safety workers out of the way.
You're going to see a lot of these guys change tires that didn't change tires the last time, so might mix up the field again here. But the tires holding up well, speeds are holding up good. But you still worry about that tire wear. You want to get a look at it anyway. Some of these cars haven't really changed tires since the start of the race.
Yeah, probably looking at 4 right here, wouldn't you say, Andy? Just so they can look at all the tires?
I would take 4 tires right here running up front, and then we can make an assessment from there and decide what we do later in the race.
Watching Mark Hollywood Armstrong, tire changer there for Stephen Wallace.
They got to address this issue right here with the right front so they don't cut another tire. That baseball bat's going to do that for them, so they can roll that around there in the front, shape that fender, and get it away from that tire.
That fender out the best you can. Make it look as pretty as you can, Hollywood.
You see, they brace these fenders up pretty well, so when they get bent in, they're kind of hard to pull out.
Work ongoing on Stephen Wallace's car. He'll have to start at the back anyway. That's why he is already on pit road. Everyone else will have to wait one more lap. The pits are still closed, so we'll take a break and come back to Las Vegas with pit stops in just a moment.
Back at Las Vegas, Carl Edwards leads the parade down pit road. He wants to be freed up just a little bit. They'll go up 1 round on the track bar, a 4-tire change. Edwards gets a drink of water, and his stop is completed. Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick in the middle of your screen there in the 33 says he just couldn't get going on that last stop. He was too loose. He said it gets better in the long run. 4 tires and fuel. Dave?
Brian Vickers was running third. He said his car was neutral to slightly tight. 4 tires, track bar adjustment. Up ahead of him, Denny Hamlin gives up the 4th position. He hasn't taken tires since his lap 7 spin. He'll put Sunoco fuel in, get a slight track bar adjustment. He said, don't go too far. 4 tires.
Race off of pit road. Carl Edwards, who wanted the adjustment a little too tight. Same with Vickers. You see Harvick. They all stayed in position. And Justin Allgaier up 1 position. Carl Edwards, guys, getting it done on pit road. Remember that final pit stop in California a week ago? They were able to beat the 18 car out. Well, they're getting it done again today, even under the caution flag. Good job, guys. Back with a green flag here in the Samstown 300 in a moment. Viva La NASCAR here in Las Vegas, just north of the famous Las Vegas Strip, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you just joined our coverage, our current leader is Carl Edwards. He is the 5th different driver to lead today. Biggest mover, Scott Lagasse, in a backup car starting at the back of the pack. And how about Justin Allgaier, the rookie driver, currently being shown 5th overall. We have had 5 caution flags for 25 laps, and thus the average speed is way down 105 miles an hour. Kyle Busch, it was the points leader coming in the garage area. He was involved in heavy contact with the car number 18 there on lap 22. Pace car pulls away. Carl Edwards is the race leader and, by the way, now our points leader. Behind him, Kevin Harvick, Vickers, Denny Hamlin, and the rookie Allgaier in the top 5.
Harvick trying to make a move here quick down into turn 1.
Looks like he's going to get clear of Carl Edwards off turn 2. See Mike Bliss in the picture. He's the first car 1 lap down.
Looking back, you see just behind Carl Edwards is Ryan Vickers. He's a lot closer to these guys. His car was really fast here the last couple of runs.
This is where we've seen it get treacherous on new tires right after they fill them up with fuel. So heavy traffic and cars that are a little bit twitchy. That's where we saw a lot of cautions early.
Yeah, it's really tough. And when you get a tire that's normally this good on a long run, that's the problem you get into. It's a little bit twitchy as you want to get up to speed. You don't have that air pressure up. It doesn't have a lot of heat in it and makes it difficult. Usually it's a construction change is what they did to this tire, and it just makes it a little more difficult there. Those guys will trade that off. You can see just behind Vickers, Justin Allgaier doing a great job today in the 4th spot in that 12 car.
Cannot say enough about Allgaier. Here's a 16 car of Greg Biffle. He's done everything you can do but win here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
He might have the car to change that fact today.
Brought out the old lucky car. In fact, this car 16 he's driving. The last time he won a nationwide race in February of 2006, it was driving this car at California.
He's made a nice recovery from that pit road speeding incident.
And Carl Edwards looking for the lead. He's working that little higher line in turn 4. Got a little run on Harvick. So he's doing it again here in 1 and 2.
Harvick's been pretty much committed to that bottom groove. See, he gets a nice run off, but Edwards carries a little bit more speed.
Right through 3 and 4, the last lap, Carl worked that higher line. You can see him right there, working just up out of that groove, or just to the higher part of that groove. Gets that momentum coming off the corner, trying to close in on Harvick.
And you can see looking back there that Allgaier was also trying to sneak to the inside of Vickers to take the 3rd spot away.
See, pretty much the rest of these guys are committed to that little bit higher line that you were talking about, Andy, other than Harvick. They all are about a groove up. That's what's so great about this progressive bank is that Carl Edwards making a move to the outside off turn 4.
And Harvick had to leave him just a little room there, and it cost him the momentum.
And going by for the 9th lead change of the day, Carl Edwards.
See, while these two guys are racing, the 32 and 12 cars have caught up. Now they're in this mix.
I think Biffle and Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick have the 2 best cars. Biffle might be a little better on a longer run. It'll be interesting to see. He's back in 5th, just a little under a second and a half behind these guys.
While watching the lap times, it looks like Greg Biffle has a really fast car, but he's just struggled trying to get that track position back that he lost earlier with that pit road penalty.
We talk about parity in NASCAR. It is a Ford leading, a Chevy in 2nd, a Toyota 3rd, and a Dodge 4th.
That's parity right there.
That's what they want to see every week. They don't care which one it is, and that's Greg Biffle right behind there. Jamie?
Well, you guys are talking about Greg Biffle. He may be under the weather, but he is one happy driver. Last pit stop, 0 changes, 4 tires and fuel as he works to get to the front, setting 5th, guys.
Greg Biffle is a former series champion here, and although his passion is to win a cup title, he likes being here. We asked Greg Biffle about why he races still on Saturdays.
I think all racers love to race, and there's so much pressure on Sunday that Saturday is more fun. Saturday is, a little bit less pressure, and the series is a lot of fun because there's a lot of different, there's a bunch of different talents in it, and there's a bunch of different obstacles.
It has been a while, though, since Greg Biffle has been to victory lane. How about 76 races? We mentioned that February race in California driving this exact car, but also Mike Bliss has been a while. Ryan Vickers, Kevin Harvick. Hard to believe Harvick, a 2-time champion, but he's the last couple of years running his own car to try to get his teams up and running.
I believe it's been that long with Biffle. We talk about him all the time and how good he is at most of the places that they go. You see right up in front, there's Carl Edwards still leading the race. Kevin Harvick just behind him, and there's been a change for the 3rd spot. Justin Allgaier has passed Brian Vickers and taken that spot away from him.
We see Edwards just tiptoeing beneath the lap car. They're being very careful after all the spins we've seen there coming off the turn. There is Allgaier, the rookie.
You see the lap times right there. Justin Allgaier a couple of tenths quicker than Carl Edwards that lap.
I think Carl had to get out of the throttle a little bit when he passed that lap car, and that hurt his lap time on that one. But we'll see here. He was just a little bit quicker than Kevin Harvick also.
Once again, caution.
Turn two. One car got the wall. Keep it up there. Slow it right down.
Remember, Mike Bliss had already been on pit road and lost a lap because he had cut a tire, and now he's in the wall, bringing out caution again.
Yeah, he had some damage from an earlier wreck, and that it cut the right rear tire down. The last time looks like that's happened again. They still had a little bit of rub right there. They got more damage this time.
Man, two guys that we thought that were our nationwide regulars, Brad Keselowski and Mike Bliss, we thought they were going to battle for the championship here, and they've had nothing but bad luck in these first 3 races.
Mike Bliss was running hard trying to stay that first car 1 lap down to get that lucky dog, but this is what you don't want. You don't want to be the guy that brings it out.
He could hear as he went down into turn 1.
Keep it up there.
That tire let go.
Not a good day for drivers we thought would be championship contenders and be up in the points early on. Keselowski in the garage, Kyle Busch, and now Mike Bliss, the latest to have more issues. Under caution again here for the 6th time today.
At the ESPN Zone here in Vegas, Brad's kind of story.
Ooh, absolutely. A little bit of cooking going on.
The rookies in the Nationwide Series get together to prepare some pasta for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Las Vegas. Max Pappas, Scott Speed, Scott Lagasse, Michael Annett, John West Townley, Justin Allgaier. Also got to play some games over there at ESPN Zone. I believe the meal was appreciated by all. And it's been a pretty good day in the race for the rookies so far.
All the rookies have done really well, except for John West Townley, who was in an accident a couple of cautions ago. But all the rest of the guys doing an outstanding job, hanging around through the top 20.
Justin Allgaier on the radio with his team just a little while ago.
Man, that car looks good, buddy. I ain't gonna lie to you. God, it's fast. Not even halfway. Just pace yourself. 10-4, that's all I'm doing, pal. That's all I'm doing.
And Justin Allgaier's crew chief with me now. Chad Walter. Chad, a lot of people looking at this going, where did this kid come from? What is making you guys so good today?
I think Roger Penske picked a pretty good candidate to drive this number 12 Verizon Dodge. Justin's got experience beyond his age probably, and he's doing a great job, and he's just logging laps right now, learning from some really good drivers, cup-capable drivers. But been really impressed with his ability. Never saw this racetrack before this weekend, so he's one to watch. Hopefully we can bring it home in good shape.
Like keep our eyes on Justin Allgaier. Dave?
Jamie watched Brian Vickers earlier in this run. Earlier today, he talked about saving the right front tire just a little bit. Trent, based on what you saw coming off the car, can he drive it a little harder now and maybe pass the 12 back?
Yeah, I told him based on the wear we see that he can drive it harder at times. I don't want him to abuse it for the full run, but probably take it easy the first 20 laps, and then I told him he could abuse it for the latter part of the run, try to gain some spots back. But real happy with the Dollar General car. We wasn't real good in practice, but we made a lot of adjustments overnight, and it looks like it's paid off so far.
You can drive it hard at times. Maybe it's like nitrous, Doc. What do you think?
Not even at a halfway point yet, Dave. These guys got a lot of racing yet to go. We've had 6 caution flags and a red flag. And Mike Bliss, by the way, the contact with the wall, he had been on and off pit road, now being shown 2 laps down in the 33rd position, but he is back on the racetrack. Here's Mike with that damaged Chevy. Carl Edwards will lead him down, 88 laps complete, still 12 laps away from halfway. Kevin Harvick on the hunt behind him. Then the rookie, Allgaier.
Harvick was able to make a pass last time on the restart. Looks like he's got that thing going in. I think his truck driver Ron Hornaday's taught him a little something about the restart. Oh, slides right up in front of Carl. Now moves out of the way. He realized what he had done right there.
Yeah, that was risky right there. That's how you get turned around. These 2 guys are really pros, though.
Watch the 12 come here. He might get that 2nd spot.
Easy does it now.
Folks, that 12 car, Justin Allgaier, he is 22 years old. He told me in the garage area, here's the best part. He's been racing for 18 years. He started when he was 5 and a quarter major.
Oh, one of our rookies around, Michael Annett. Here's another car going into wall zero.
That's not his fault at all.
Robert Richardson. Got some heavy damage to the left side of this car.
This might have been a chain reaction because the 15 car was already up in the wall. There is Michael Annett.
We've just been talking about how good these rookies were doing. Michael Annett was on the lead lap.
Well, we've said a number of times that these restarts are whenever things are going to be the most difficult for these guys with these tires not having any heat in them. Trying to run hard, you have to drive, once again, you have to drive these cars so hard because of that tapered spacer that they run on. A lot of damage there.
See the window net down.
You can see what happens here. Whoa.
Oh my.
DJ Kennigan in the 81 just got turned or got sideways. Got into Michael Annette.
Just at the worst possible place on this track too. The fastest part of the track getting into turn 1.
That's a hard lick, driver's side.
Jason Keller's on board. Look ahead of him. You'll see this all unfold. Oh.
Easy, lower.
I can't figure out what happened to the 81 car right there.
Yeah, the only thing that I think back is to what Brad Keselowski said earlier about when you let out of the gas with these cars, at rear end unlocks. You know, that's why these guys a lot of times won't come all the way out of the throttle because of what it allows the rear end to do there, and it'll turn these cars, and especially in the situation aero-wise too.
That car just took a dead right-hand turn, getting in the corner.
Robert Richardson able to climb out. You see, he's a pretty big boy. Very good shape physically, and he certainly took a hard lick there in that car number 0. Michael Annette, who was running in 13th position, one of the 5 rookies we had running in the top 15. His car tagged by the 81 of DJ Kennington. They have stopped the field on the racetrack because of all the debris that will need to be cleaned up. Back in a moment. In 3 weeks, we head to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. 3-story high concrete cage, and they get it on. How about Clint Boyer, who won it after the rains came on his way to a NASCAR Nationwide Series title. Our coverage live on ABC, March 21st, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the Scotts Turf Builder 300. Here's your ticket to race. We go from Bristol to Texas to the short track in Nashville. And a lot of great races coming up. Talladega, the end of April, drafting 25, 30 cars across. I always love going to Richmond. So many great races coming up for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Well, let's talk to a local resident who was excited about this weekend, but after 7 caution flags, of which he was a part of at least 1, let's visit with our in-race reporter, Brendan Gaughan, who, by the way, is still being shown in the top 10.
Hey, Brendan, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You got me?
Hey, DJ, how you doing today? You having fun yet?
Yeah, how about you? You having some fun? I know you got a backup car there. You didn't get any practice laps in it, but it looked like things are going pretty well if somebody wouldn't keep running into you, huh?
Like Rusty said, we don't have backup cars. We just had the primary that lost out. It, you know, we gave at least the viewers some excitement. You know, I don't know what happened. We got hit trying to go to pit road on that caution, trying to miss everybody, and been spinning around a little bit, but Brian Barrett did a great job, got us back to the front with track position, and right now we're about a 6th to 10th place race car. See if Brian do a couple more adjustments on our Chevy and maybe get towards that top 5 a little better.
Okay, what adjustments are you looking at? What are you fighting with your race car?
Adjustment-wise, I'm too dumb to tell you. If you want the truth, I don't know. That's what Brian gets paid the big bucks for. We're still just a little too tight. You can see me coming through 3 and 4. I've been trying to search for a line, and I'm actually running the bottom, if you can believe that. And it's just still too tight. I get too slow right through the center of that corner. I thought I was really good 1 and 2 until I got up here with these leaders, and even they're blowing by me in 1 and 2. So want the front end to stick a little bit better, get that rear end to turn a little bit more.
All right, Brendan, thanks for all the information there, buddy. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Have fun.
We are under a red flag for the 2nd time today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Cars stopped on the backstretch. 7 cautions for 30 laps. We set a record a year ago. Will we break it here today? We're moving in. Last night, a little fun here by virtue of the Richard Petty driving experience cars. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson getting a ride around the racetrack with NASCAR Nationwide Series driver Stanton Baird, who, by the way, was the stunt driver for the soon-to-be-released movie The Race to Witch Mountain, the Disney film. And The Rock enjoyed his time, although with a little trouble getting out in the race car.
Good luck tomorrow. Kick ass.
All right.
DZ, I know you've driven a lot of celebrities around racetracks, and what's the typical response when they finally do get out of the car and away from the cameras and they come talk to you?
I think the biggest thing is why you run so close to the wall. That's what everybody seems to wonder, but they're really amazed at the speed that you carry and how easy it is to really go through the corners. But I think a great appreciation that people get after they've been on a ride like that.
They have no idea what you guys go through in the car until they finally get in and realize, I mean, it's how frightening it really is, how difficult it is.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing a fan club event next Saturday down at Talladega, I think we've got about 80 to 100 of our fan club members coming down with my driving school, and we're going to do that down at Talladega. So get some pretty good time with them. So here's Carl Edwards we're looking at right now. He's the leader of this race.
And he's got to be smiling because the guy that he's worried about in this points championship, even though it's early in the year, this hauler is loaded up to go.
I'm not so sure Carl doesn't want to really duke it out here on the track with Kyle Busch. It does make his job a little easier to try to win this championship when he doesn't have to, when he sees that hauler pull out.
Carl Edwards is the race leader and the points leader. Now having taken a 50-point lead over Kevin Harvick, you see there's the point standings. Brian Vickers, who will not run the full schedule, and Justin Allgaier, the rookie, up 15 positions. Let's head down to the ESPN Craftsman Tech Garage and talk a little bit about tire cycling and maybe some coil binding with Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. Folks, well, Goodyear brought an extremely good package here as far as the tire was concerned, because historically after you cycle a tire, meaning get it hot, cold several times, it affects the handling of the race cars. But another thing that really affects the cars is the bumps. And this is a conventional spring that we put in the car to go through the inspection, and this is the inspection height. But when the cars are on the racetrack, they actually coil bind them, and they're running just like this, stacked. And what that does is basically makes the car bounce through the corners. That's the reason when you go through the corner and you've got a lot of wheel in the car and you hit those bumps, it basically kicks the back end of the car out. But there again, the tire, it's back to the blunt of the work, because the deflection in the sidewall and that ride, that gives the driver comfort. But even a talented driver, as Kyle Busch is, when he gets in a situation beneath another car and it takes air off the rear of the car, it gets aero loose, and that's what causes the car to spin out.
Thanks, Tim. And we've seen that time and again today with these cars, these tires on the cycle. And how about some pit stops? Denny Hamlin comes on, David Reagan.
That's a little unexpected to see this 20 car coming down pit road. I expected the leaders to stay out. A little strategy play maybe on the 20 team.
Yeah, a little strategy, and I don't think he's got his car exactly where he wants it yet. And David Reagan, I think they're still working on that car a little bit.
He pitted just 20 laps ago. There is David Reagan and getting some work done on the front of his car, some damage on his Ford. And what about Denny Hamlin, Dave?
The answers would be yes and yes to you gentlemen. Don't have it quite where they want it to. They made a wedge adjustment right there. It was the early part of the runs that Denny wanted them to work on. The car was just a little bit too free. That continued to be the case this last time. I'm not sure what they went underneath there for, guys. We'll check on that. But definitely a wedge adjustment. Wanted to tighten up a little bit at the start of those runs so it wasn't quite out from underneath them. And Dave Rogers saying, we're coming down pit road because we are here to win. Let's fix it.
Working caution number 7. We've had 2 red flags, a lot of action, and we are still, folks, 8 laps away from the halfway point. Still lots of racing to come your way here in Las Vegas. Our lucky dog under the caution flag here, the 61 car, Brandon Witt, getting back on the lead lap. He's the Aaron's Lucky Dog Free Pass Award winner, back in 18th spot. Listen in to Carl Edwards' radio here just a moment ago.
Where's that 12 car running, Jason? I'll never forget the first time I saw him race is at Peevely, Missouri, in a late model. And I'd never seen someone stand on the gas on the cushion. It's hard to say, but it's pretty wild. Yeah, I've been racing him a long time, and I swear he's 50 years old, but he's only 22. He must have started when he was like 4.
They're close. He actually started when he was 5. And he's 22, but what a job by that 12 car of Justin Allgaier from Riverton, Illinois. And Mom and Dad, Mike and Dorothy, your little boy's doing a good job out here in Vegas.
If you'll pay attention, you'll see him standing on the gas here, too. I don't know if he's on the cushion or not here, but he's getting it done right now.
6 laps away from halfway. Let's see if the rookies got anything for the former champ there. Here they go, Edwards, Allgaier, and Harvick.
There goes Harvick to the inside again.
He's pushing the issue right there. they worked all that out. Here goes Allgaier trying to go to the inside of Carl Edwards.
Man, he gets it done, too. Clear.
Wow.
Out of turn 2, it's the rookie leading at Las Vegas. Wow.
You could see he was itching to get going on that restart. You could see like he just kept itching up there to Carl, but I thought he might have to get out of the gas when he and Harvick and another one of the lap cars got pretty close there, but didn't bother him.
The 12.
You know, when you get to, you can see that lead, that's a little more incentive in it. You can see it right there.
Guarantee you it is.
He's stretching on Carl off turn 2. Got that clean air on his nose now. This 12 car's been great all day.
From a family-owned stock car team with little to no budget, he won an ARCA title a year ago. And now, here in his third full-time race with Roger Penske, he is leading the heavyweights of the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Las Vegas.
First time he'd been on the racetrack was yesterday, and so I guess experience doesn't always matter, does it?
No, we heard him say he learns a lot of this stuff by playing video games. Maybe he's played this one quite a bit. He's learned the groove for sure.
In fact, we asked Justin Allgaier about preparing for the race as a rookie. How do you do it?
I think one of the best ways to kind of go back and look and see where things need to be at is watching race tapes. We have quite a few of the races on tape from races that maybe Sam Hornish or Kurt Busch, my teammates, were able to do in the Nationwide Series. And so we take those tapes, we go back and just kind of watch. Race strategies and the way the races play out really doesn't differ a whole lot.
And tire down on the 60 car.
Yeah, with left rear tire down, he must have run over some debris into that last caution.
Man, we've had all of these cautions. We've had so much debris.
Oh,
Carl Edwards spins out there.
He just couldn't hold on to it. See, he loses the tread part of the tire.
You don't think that was intentional?
There, Dan. Tire came apart on the left rear. Yellow is out. Can you get going here? They're in turn 1 if you can get going.
Not a bad move. Well, it was.
I don't know if it was intentional, but it worked. Come on in this time here. Get going here. Spin this time. 4 tires on right here. 4 tires and gas here, guys.
There's what's left.
Yeah, just came apart, locked it up.
He's still going to lose a lap. He's having to go really slow around the apron.
But he would have lost a handful of laps probably if we stayed green. So a bit of a break. That caution coming out now as he spun around and lost part of the carcass of that tire.
And I said that, it's just a question you wonder, but it looked like more than anything he was just trying to get his car enough speed to where he wasn't going to lose much time. We can see right here. You could tell Carl was really falling back, but as he went down into turn 1, did a good job not to wreck the car right there.
You see, he's still fighting it right here. And then you also have all this traffic. You see these cars coming full bore behind him. He doesn't want to pull over in front of somebody because you can see they're going 150 miles an hour faster than he is.
And his spotter tells him there's an opening coming, and he has to really gas it right here. And I think that probably contributed. It was just carrying too much speed right there as he tried to get down and then turned it back.
Again, the reason he can still drive the car, there is an inner liner. If you're not familiar with how these Goodyear tires work, there's an inner liner, a tire inside a tire that's still inflated that allows him, but that's the tire he was racing on, or what's left of the tire rolling in behind him.
Got that left rear tire change. Now he's back off the pit road.
He is 1 lap down.
He is 1 lap down, and his top 5 finish streak in jeopardy. He's had 11 consecutive top 5 finishes going back to 2008.
He's got 100 laps to get all of that back and try to get back in the situation. He's got a fast car. If we have as many cautions as we've had in the first half of this race, then he'll have plenty of opportunities.
Stephen Wallace is our Lucky Dog Free Pass winner. He will get back on the lead lap. Stephen able to use the Lucky Dog a week ago to get a top 10 finish, and now he is being shown in 17th position.
Yeah, that guy in 16th position is Morgan Shepherd. Here comes our leader to pit road.
Here comes all the leaders down pit road. Looks like Allgaier brings them all down.
Yeah, he kind of forced everybody else's hand by coming there. It looked like the other guys were going to stay out.
Halfway, 100 laps in, and everybody up front in the pits. Shannon.
Doc, Jason Leffler says this is the best car he's had at Las Vegas. It's just been a tiny bit tight all day. 4 tires for that 38 team. Mike.
Jeff Burton has been fighting a tight race car all day, just saying the car won't turn. They make an air pressure adjustment as he rolls away. Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick in the 33, you see him in his pit box. Fuel only. They said the tires look fantastic. Justin Allgaier was leading the rookie in the 12 car. Car is great. No changes. Fuel only, guys.
Jeff Burton among that group will lead the leaders off of pit road.
Just getting ready to talk about Jeff Burton right there under that caution. We haven't heard much from him all day. He came in 5th, comes out with a lead.
We showed that fabulous finish that Burton pulled off 2 years ago when he had to come from the middle of the pack to run down Kyle Busch and passed him on the white flag lap. Last year in this race, Burton was reeling in the leaders and had an engine come apart with about 50 laps to go, but he was the class of the field here in the second half of the race a year ago.
He just took fuel, as did a lot of cars. Justin Allgaier also just took fuel.
Makes you wonder, as quickly as he got out of there, did he just get in and out of his box that much quicker because these other guys did too, or did they get that car full?
It makes you wonder if they did get it full, but you can see right here, gets on the pit road and getting his pit stall perfectly here, and his gas man plugs in. Making a chassis adjustment too. Looks like they're putting, or actually raising the track bar just a little bit. Great job getting off pit road. He gets out with the lead of the cars that pitted. There may be a few cars that stayed out right here that he'll have to deal with. Greg Biffle comes across the line as the leader.
Let's update the 60 tire situation from a moment ago. Mike.
And Doc, you heard over Carl Edwards' radio, he said the tire just came apart. Well, this is the remnants of that tire. You talked about the inner liner. Well, it's still very much intact. The rest of the tire, though, completely gone. You can understand why he turned around.
Not much left, and thank goodness for the inner liner. One of the many safety innovations over the years in NASCAR, along with the fuel cell and the fire suits, and that Goodyear inner liner that's prevented some major rollover crashes over the years.
Yeah, it's still a handful when you go down on that thing, but at least you have some control, even though it's minimal.
And the car will have to go to the back here because he did pit too soon. So it's still going to make his job even more difficult.
Yeah, he's going to have to work hard to try to get this lap back. He's got a fast car, and I have no doubt he'll be able to do it if he can stay out of trouble.
See the 89 there, Morgan Shepherd still on the lead lap, guys.
He's
doing a great job.
He's one of 17 cars on the lead lap, and there are 31 cars still running on the racetrack. Getting set for the restart just past the halfway point. Pace car will pull away. Let's listen to the spotters as we go full throttle.
Be ready. Ready. Be ready. Ready. Be ready. Be ready. Green flag, green flag, green flag, green flag. Everybody pulling once you're outside 66. For him. Still inside, still inside. Still inside. Not inside. You're all clear. Bumper, all clear. Too wide, still inside. Up on the bottom. Ready, still in there. Clear 80 there. Another lap on the bottom, 3 up in front of you. Outside, 12 outside, 12 outside. Clear, clear. Back up to the bottom, come on, come on.
Troubled a couple of the contenders. Burton and Harvick involved in a crash, and now others swept into it. There's Stephen Wallace spinning.
Just like we saw early in the race, this 29 car just turned around right in front of traffic. Stephen Wallace involved, a lot of cars involved in this. Kevin Harvick, one of the contenders, is in it.
Yeah, Harvick has a lot of damage to his car. There's Stan Barrett.
61 car also,
over his head.
also spinning. Brandon Witt, there's the 61 car. The damage on the back of the car just got back on the lead lap a moment ago.
Just kind of hold your breath on these restarts because these cars are so twitchy with new tires and full of fuel.
And there's the damaged car of Kevin Harvick. Maybe the best chance he has had in his career driving his own car to get a win. But that will go away.
Once again, Andy, I think as much as anything, they don't have tires on them. You see Burton just get loose right there. He tries to keep it off of Justin Allgaier. It slides right up in front of Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, the thing is, they didn't have new tires, but they did have a full load of fuel.
Yeah.
And they're around so much traffic, and this air's got stirred up so much that it's really a tricky part of the race when they have these restarts.
Yeah, and you've driven cars before. You know that when you put that full load of fuel, most times you do it just out practicing, just how much it changes your race car. We see right here from Harvick's onboard. See Jeff Burton's car just gets loose.
Damn. We got it, boys.
Once again, we're talking about some of the best drivers in the world. These are Cup guys that are losing this.
Three-time winner here, Jeff Burton, and here's the chain reaction behind these cars spinning. There's the contact, 61-07 of David Green, Stephen Wallace.
Morgan Shepherd does a great job to miss this, and you see a ton of cars involved.
Eric McClure, nice job going down pit road to avoid it. The 24 car. Here's McClure.
Wreck off of 4, wreck off of 4. Come down pit road. Come down. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good job.
See, Burton is trying to get back out here. He's got a little bit of damage to the left side, but Harvick's car looks like it's damaged too much. He's going to have to come to the garage and try to fix it.
Yeah, once again, one of the best cars with Kevin Harvick.
Just in over his head. Got to drive in a hunk of junk. Trying to make something happen.
That's how Kevin feels about the situation.
Yeah, he's a little frustrated because he had a great car. And, you know, he saw Jeff Burton just lose it in front of him. Nothing he could do. I mean, he just had nowhere to go.
Great car, one capable of winning. Plus, it's his stuff. He has to write the check.
Yeah, and they talked about it being a nice little anniversary present for Kevin and Delana Harvick. Not going to happen. Back in the garage. Here's a 31 car. Stanton Barrett. He was involved in that chain reaction behind. Right front fender peeled away. 9 caution flags, folks, here for 38 laps, 2 red flags. There is last year's championship crew chief talking about the damage on the 29 car, Dan Deeringhoff. And meanwhile, Stephen Wallace is headed to the garage area. We'll update some of their frustrations in a moment. Here's what caused the latest yellow. The twitching 29 up across the track right in front of Harvick. Then it all broke loose behind him.
Awful lot of people bet a $60,000 race car today here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and have lost.
Yes.
It's been a rough day for a lot of teams in today's 300-mile NASCAR Nationwide Series race, and we're only halfway through.
I am rescinding the bet that we had earlier. I'll tell you what, I'm really surprised. It's been a tough day, especially and particularly on the restarts. A lot of guys tearing up some great race cars, and we're seeing a lot of our contenders for the championship this year going by the wayside.
Kyle Busch already out. Carl Edwards is a lap down from a flat tire, and that's the least of the problems today. You see Kevin Harvick looked like he had a potential winner, getting his car repaired in the garage area. Jeff Burton just involved in the crash that brought out the caution flag a second ago. It has been difficult today on the best in the business. Even Greg Biffle in that 16 car, the leader, has had a penalty and has had to dig all day to get back to the front of the pack.
It's been unbelievable. When we get back, I want DJ to explain to us a little bit on that car of Jeff Burton, how it just snapped loose so quickly when it was sliding like that, what he thinks happened there, because that was really, it's incredible.
While the cleanup continues, let's hear from Kevin Harvick. Shannon?
Alan, of course, one of the veteran drivers in today's race. We've seen so many guys have issues. What's your opinion as to what's happening out there today?
There's just a lot of cars spinning out. 29 wasn't all that good, and he just got up in there and got himself in a bad spot and spun out. And unfortunately, we were the ones that hit him, but I just want to thank all these Ream tankless water heater guys. They did a great job and had a car capable of winning the race, but wasn't meant to be.
Kevin, you guys are working on the car right here. Do you think you'll be able to get out on the racetrack?
I don't know.
All right, disappointing day for Kevin Harvick, guys.
All right, so very difficult day, not only for Harvick, but for a lot of the big names in today's NASCAR Nationwide Series field. And still a lot of racing to go. 92 laps left in this one. Greg Biffle is the race leader. You've got Michael McDowell second, Denny Hamlin third. David Reagan is pitted right behind our ESPN pit studio. Yeah. He's been on pit lane about, what, 15 times?
At least 16,000 times. Every time I turn around, he's sitting here behind us.
And he's in 4th place. Doc, I guess you just can't figure how this thing's going to play out in these final 150 miles or so, huh? While we await the restart, which comes up a little less than a lap from now, Scott Lagasse, another guy who's had some problems but has overcome them so far. Having a great run, Dave.
That's his primary car in qualifying with this backup car, Paul, and a lot of attrition. You guys are looking like you might have a shot at moving up to the top 5 here.
Yeah, it looks really good. Scott's done a good job in rebounding from the wreck in qualifying. You know, the good thing was this car we raced last week, so we were confident in what it could do. And I told him we need to look at the big picture here, and we don't. It's a good day for us to gain a bunch of points and bring the car home in one piece. If we got to give up a couple spots to do that, that's just big picture what we're looking at right now. So all in all, real happy. The guys have been good on pit road all day, and we're just excited about what he's doing out there.
Really good day considering where they started, Doc.
In a backup car, at the back of the pack. And now Scott Lagasse Jr., one of the impressive rookie drivers, coming off his career best 12th place finish last week at California. Well, the Biff will lead him down. Michael McDowell behind him, Denny Hamlin, David Reagan, and Jason Keller to top 5. Now how many laps of green are we going to get?
But, you know, some people might wonder how Biffle can go out there and run. We see these guys getting sideways back here again. But he doesn't have that full load of fuel like these other guys. They stayed out there. Denny Hamlin that you see there in the 20 car. Denny Hamlin spun out earlier in the race. Here he is back in second spot.
Yeah, well, we saw them they were on pit road making some adjustments, big adjustments to the car to look like to tighten him up. I'm not sure if he's got it just right, but he's got the spot now, and he's in second spot.
And I tell you who is really looking good, and I know Biffle's really strong, but Justin Allgaier has to be looking and thinking, what, this is my opportunity to win my first race.
Yeah, the key here is to keep him out of trouble now the rest of the way, because he does have a great car, and we've seen great race car drivers wrecking themselves.
That is Allgaier in the 12 car up high, Denny Hamlin the 20, McDowell the 47, Reagan the 6, and let's update Hamlin. Dave.
To answer your question, guys, the car is much better according to the driver. They can make it on one more stop. I'm sure we'll see him on pit road.
There's the progression. Denny Hamlin as far back as 38. Again, this is his very first start of the year in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. A 4-time winner in 2008. 2 wins in the 20 car, 2 in the 18 car.
You see Biffle's pulled away from this pack just a little bit here. He's got about a second lead over Denny Hamlin in the 20. It's a good spot. That 12 car just needs to ride right there for a little while, stay out of trouble, and as the race wears on here just a little bit, he can pick these spots off, but try not to get in trouble here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much riding he's going to do, though. This young man, I think, knows he has a really good race car. He's going to be in. You're right, Andy. He could really do himself well by sitting there following Denny Hamlin for a while and then getting to that last pit stop where they're going to put tires back on it and see what he has then and let him go race.
While you watch this action up for second position, we'll mention that Carl Edwards, who had brought out the caution flag with a cut tire, is now in position to get the lucky dog. He is the 60 car and now is the first car a lap down in 16th position.
Yeah, he had to pass about 5 cars that were also a lap down to get in that position, but he's already disposed of those guys and got himself in that position should we have another caution, with the way that this first 114 laps are going.
I think chances are good.
We'll get far away.
Yeah. We're talking about Allgaier. The best finish at this racetrack by a rookie driver was second by Kevin Harvick by Greg Biffle back in 2001. So he is a spot away from tying it. The last rookie to win a race, we called it back in 2007, Juan Pablo Montoya down in Mexico City.
He's got a tall order ahead in trying to pass 2 really good race drivers, and Denny Hamlin that he's battling with for second, and Greg Biffle in front.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to do right here, just like we were talking about. He's just riding around here. He's looking for different grooves. If he can see a spot, a place to take this spot, he'll take it. But I don't think he's going to push it too hard. I hope he doesn't. He's on the inside of him right here.
This is the danger spot right here, I think, is getting yourself in that position. But you see Denny Hamlin back out a little bit and give him that room.
Great job, Wheelman. Hit your marks, buddy.
Denny looks like his car might be a little bit to the tight side. I think I might look for them to have to come back off of that adjustment just a little bit.
Yeah, his car's not just exactly where it needs to be right now.
Just 83 laps to go, and one of the early contenders after that great run a week ago, Stephen Wallace, now in the garage area. Shannon.
Doc, Stephen Wallace also collected in that last wreck. What happened out there, Stephen?
I don't know. The first time I got spun out there under caution running like 6 or 7, Dale Jr. decided to wreck me there, and that forced my right front tire to get blown out, and it also ripped my right front fender off, put me a lap down. I got my lap back. I was running like 11th, and it's just everybody just keeps spinning out all by themselves. I don't know what's going on out there, but our US Fidelis Chevrolet was really good today. I just hate this happened. I just feel like if we would have got wrecked the first portion dang under caution, that we wouldn't be here right now. So I just hate it. I want to say hey to all the guys at US Fidelis. Hate it for you, but we had a good car. We'll go back to Bristol, where we run really good at, and to try and win the race. So thanks.
A lot of drivers in this garage here today, Dave.
And
Shannon, based on that pass by Justin Allgaier on Denny Hamlin, you might wonder, as you guys did up in the booth, whether Denny has his car just right. I think he does, because when the 12 passed him, all he said was nothing to complain about his car. He just said, holy cow, that 12 is fast.
He's right. He is fast. He's the fastest car on the racetrack just about every lap now. I think he's got the car to win this thing.
Well, he's chasing Greg Biffle down, and Allgaier here in the 12 car, his tires are 30 laps fresher than Biffle. Biffle has not pitted since, it says here, since the 71 lap mark, so he has got to be a sitting duck now for this guy.
Well, I think it's just showing how good this tire really is, though. I mean, Greg's still got a good lead on Allgaier, and he's running fast lap times. Actually, the last lap he was a little quicker than Justin, so this is a great tire Goodyear brought here.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that Biffle might have to be a little concerned about is this thing kind of getting spread out. We've got fewer cars out here now, and it's been a while since he's been on pit road. These other guys are going to have a big window as far as being able to go a lot further with their fuel before they have to come to pit road.
Yeah, because we're talking 20-plus laps now difference between the fuel loads on the 16 and the 12.
Allgaier is on the hunt. 22-year-old driver from Riverton, Illinois. A huge long shot coming into the day. And guess what? He is moving in to retake the lead. Back in just a moment. .73 laps remain here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Las Vegas. Greg Biffle is our current leader. The biggest mover, Scott Lagasse, in the backup car, up 34 positions to 8th spot. Top nationwide only driver, Justin Allgaier, the rookie driver, in second position. There have been 9 caution flags for 42 laps. And that means the average speed way down, just over 102.7 miles per hour. And the points leader coming in, and one of their pre-race favorites, Kyle Busch, is out. In fact, his car is packed up. They've headed home. What about the differing fuel strategies? Remember, Greg Biffle has not pitted since lap 71, and there's a look at the fuel windows.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure their mileage because of all the caution laps, but 10 or 15 laps from now, Biffle will have to be on pit road, and that's about 30 laps sooner than Justin Allgaier will need to be on pit road. So there's going to be a big window for Greg Biffle to be a lap down by having to make a green flag stop if we don't get a caution.
DJ, what do you think is going through this young man's mind right now? Justin Allgaier here, third race for Roger Penske Racing. First time ever Penske's run a full-time nationwide car and has a shot at winning a race.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he sees as an opportunity here with everything that's gone on. He has a good car on a perfect day. Everything's kind of lining up. I think he's just thinking about doing his job, and that chance may present itself for him to win the race today. We've seen this young man already show a lot of promise, and today he could just have a totally breakout day for himself and for this race team.
He could shock the world, as they say here in Vegas, by possibly getting that first win. Well, let's find out what's going on with the other leaders as Nationwide takes you up to speed, beginning with Jamie Little here in the Greg Biffle pit.
Well, Doc, I'll tell you what, they are counting their lucky stars in this 16 pit. Remember, he decided to stay out on the track on the last round of pit stops. Well, that got him out of sequence away from Kevin Harvick and Jeff Burton. Of course, they wrecked together, so they avoided that one. And Greg came on the radio just a few moments ago and said the car condition right now, unbelievable. Right behind him, Justin Allgaier. I mean, Doc, you keep talking about it. This kid is having an unbelievable run. Now, we're told Roger Penske is watching the race from high atop the grandstands at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, watching down on his driver. He saw something in him a long time ago, and this kid is confident. This team is confident they have the car to get to the front. Dave?
Jamie, crew chief Dave Rogers needs to tighten up Denny Hamlin's car just a little bit more on this final pit stop coming up. And he told me this morning there's a real comfort factor working with Denny. Remember, he helped start this team back in 2006 in the Nationwide season, and that was the final 4 spot in the championship. He and Ron Denton, right next to him, his shot guy, remain in this team, so a comfort level working with guys that they know. As for the 32 of Brian Vickers, they've had a really good day. Trent Owens has gotten that car to where Brian likes it. All day, he's been fighting a car which seems tight, but it's actually been showing loose when they check the tire temperatures. That's been a bit of a quandary for the crew chief. They're working on it. Shannon?
Dave, you've got to applaud the hard work from the number 6 team of David Reagan. This young man has come down pit road 6 times today. He was running as far back as 31st. Damage on one of the very first wrecks caused them to do that. Now they fixed up that car. He came down on lap 101. The car's just been a little bit tight, but David Reagan very happy with this car. Jamie?
And it sure has been a Dave the Rookie rookies. Michael McDowell making his 3rd start behind the wheel of the 47, only 8th start in the Nationwide Series, says his car has been great. They haven't made a whole lot of changes on it. He's hanging in the top 10 now. We'll see if he can make it to the end. Shannon?
Jamie, you know, there's been a lot of talk this year about Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards going for the championship. Jason Leffler, another driver who is running for a championship in that 38 car right there. He is having a solid run here today. Of course, right now he's running 4th, 4th. So Jason Leffler very happy with the car. He moved from 31st to 14th last week in the point standings. So really making a move on this championship hunt for him. Dave.
Running behind him is Scott Lagasse in that Toyota. That car running well today for Scott. Paul Wolf telling us he needs to work just a little bit more on this last pit stop. They'll try to get the nose to stop sliding just a little bit for Scott. Other than that, it's fairly well balanced for him. Mike?
And David spent a day filled with obstacles for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He started off very tight. They made an air pressure adjustment and a track bar adjustment. That only made the car worse. They fell back 5 or 6 positions. They adjusted again, made the car better, gained some spots on pit road, then got caught with a speeding penalty. Still, he's battled back from that and has maintained a position inside the top 10. Doc?
Thanks, guys, for the updates. And up front, possibly a challenge for 2nd position because Denny Hamlin is reeling in the rookie pretty quickly.
Yeah, he said he had a loose. We heard Dave say he had a loose race car. And what happens with a loose car, the longer you run, the better you get. Sometimes that gets you in trouble early to run. But right now, it's paying off for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, if you don't wreck it like some of these other ones.
Well, he spun out.
Yeah, he did. So, but he is. You're exactly right, Andy. You know, the other thing that I've started to wonder about, you know, we've gotten late in the day here, and this racetrack cooling down some and things could make these guys adjust their cars a little bit different as we move forward.
Yeah, if you look at the racetrack right now, you got a lot of shade in 1 and 2, still have some sun in 3 and 4, so that's kind of throwing these guys a little curve too.
32 car, guys, is no slouch. Brian Vickers, he has yet to lead a lap today, but he's now moving in on the 20 car and the 12.
And Greg Biffle's going to have to be on pit road here pretty soon. He's not going to have many more laps that he can run out there on this tank of fuel. He's looking for a caution, which we've seen plenty of.
Yeah, he has a 2.7 second lead right now, so he's got himself out in a good spot. Our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars are all right together. Here we see Carl Edwards, who is that lap down. Mike?
But putting him in position pretty close anyway to get in the lucky dog. He restarted 26th after spinning out, catching up with his crew chief Dan Stillman. How bad did that affect the car?
Well, just the track position loss is the biggest thing. You know, we're trying to get it back right now. Now we got a long green, you know, got to get back to the lucky dog spot and see what happens.
He's pretty close to the lucky dog spot, Doc, and more importantly, he's picked up 11 spots on the racetrack.
So he's in good position to get the lap back. And DJ, some anxious moments, some wild driving out of turn 4 a moment ago.
Justin Allgaier was having to go around a lap car. He got almost into the wall coming out of turn 4, but had to get out of the throttle, and that allowed Denny Hamlin to make a pass back for 2nd. There you see Brian Vickers in the 32, so quite a battle here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
We just joined our coverage. We've had 9 caution flags, 2 red flags, 11 lead changes, 7 different leaders. Kevin Harvick, who's in the garage area, led the most laps. Greg Biffle now has led 40 consecutive laps, but he'll be coming on the pit road possibly the next 3 to 5 laps.
Yeah, it's hard to figure, just like I said, about the mileage because of so many caution laps, and that'll extend your range quite a bit, some more than others, but he should be due to hit pit road soon, next few laps.
And I'm sure they're going to stretch as far as they can to try to make this their very last time they want to be on pit road.
Yeah, they have to stretch it as far as possible because, you know, we see 3 wide racing off turn 2.
Denny Hamlin beneath Kenny Wallace, a 28 car, the 42. Also there, that's the Evander Holyfield-owned car of Kenny Hendrick.
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen right now is for Greg Biffle to have to pit and then the caution come out. And we've seen so many of these cautions that he doesn't want to be in that position. So he'll stretch it as far as he can take this tank of fuel.
Carl Edwards needed to get by that 42 car to be the first car 1 lap down because Kenny Hendrick was on the lead lap and just got lapped by the leaders and now gets passed by Edwards to put Edwards now in the 14th position.
Yeah, and that's the battle that he's going to continue to fight as Greg Biffle's out there quite a bit in front of these guys. He's going to be putting other guys a lap down. And now there goes Morgan Shepherd. He will be the first car a lap down. Morgan's done a great job all day. Staying on the lead lap. happy with his race car, but now Carl Edwards is going to have to go up and get around Morgan Shepherd to get back in that spot once again.
And just about the time he does that, then the leader will catch another car, which this time will be Jason Keller. He's the next one to go down a lap.
Yeah, Biffle can't pit quick enough for Carl Edwards, huh?
That's right.
Carl Edwards had cut a tire, spun out of turn 2, brought out the caution flag. That's how he had to come on pit road and lost the lap. And now he is trying to get that lap back by virtue of the lucky dog, but he would not get it because Morgan Shepherd is in 13th position.
Still 56 laps to go, so Carl Edwards still got he's got some hope here. If he can get this lap back, he'll still be a contender.
There's a battle for third spot. Justin Allgaier in the 12. Brian Vickers, so he running a little higher line in the 32 car. Looks like maybe Allgaier's car has gotten a little bit tight on him. He's here goes Brian Vickers to the outside. Dave, what's going on with Brian Vickers?
DJ Vickers looks like he's going to take over that third position using the high line. This is a great recovery for that team. During practice on Friday, Trent Owens, the crew chief, told me that car was tight all day long. He said, I'll be honest with you, I have changed something on every corner of that race car. The next laps that Brian would take would be qualifying. And he said, I'm lucky to have the luxury of having a cup driver because I wouldn't make all those changes and then hand that car to a rookie. Brian could handle it in qualifying, and they've gotten the car much better for the race.
Brian Vickers, a previous pole sitter here, has not finished in the top 5. And could he be out of fuel here? Could the leader be out? Now, Jamie.
See what you can do there, shake it around, whatever you do, coming this
Greg
time.
Biffle, you hear him talking on the radio right there. He just said, I'm out of gas. They were planning on coming in about 6 laps, so he's got to make that long trek all the way around down to pit road. Unfortunate for the 16 car, guys.
How in the world they miss it 6 laps? I mean, I can see missing a lap or 2.
I'm out of gas.
Yeah, that's 9 miles.
That's not, you don't want to put yourself in this position. This can take you completely out of contention.
Well, he will lose at least 2 laps. He's already going to lose a lap here as the leaders come by. That will be Denny Hamlin now on the left side of your screen is the new leader. Biffle coming down at 45 miles an hour. Headed to you, Jamie.
And Greg Biffle makes his way down pit road. He was trying so hard for redemption after last week. He felt he let the team down and lost the race, hoping for a comeback. Maybe not so soon, guys. Ran out of gas. You see him fueling him. 4 tires. He wanted to free it up just a bit. It got a little bit tight. First changes all day long. He's having a hard time getting it restarted, guys. They're working on it. You see him running back there. And they dropped it. And he's got it cranked, and they push him down pit road. Donkey's down and away.
And here's the other question. Thank you, Jamie. If your engine isn't running, how do you know how fast you're coming down pit road?
You don't. And so it looked like he was getting down through there pretty good, but I'm sure NASCAR will tell us here shortly if there was anything there. But that's something that you fight too. No penalty, so Greg did a great job there by not having the engine running and the tachometer to get down pit road.
New leader, Denny Hamlin on the racetrack. Brian Vickers is second. Then Allgaier, the rookie, third. David Reagan, you heard he's made 6 pit stops already, but now has his car in 4th position. Jason Leffler, great recovery for the 38 team in 5th spot. McDowell 6th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. now in the 5 car, being shown in 7th.
We haven't talked much about Junior. He just hasn't, doesn't seem to have a handle on his car today.
And there's the 60 car Carl Edwards now back in that lucky dog spot. Passes Morgan Shepherd around Andy Ponstein.
And he'll be okay for a little while here because Jason Keller is still probably 10 seconds in front of Denny Hamlin as the leader. So Carl will be safe if anything should happen here for a while.
Yeah, Greg Biffle having to come to pit road really helped Carl Edwards as far as keeping this spot in case the caution does come out.
We are hearing 2 laps from now. The 20 car, Denny Hamlin, will be on pit road. He last pitted on lap 92. And that will give the lead to Brian Vickers. Both Vickers and Allgaier pitted on lap 101.
And Greg Biffle now is 1 lap down in 15th spot. So you can see how much it costs to run out of fuel. And he basically just having to make that green flag stop when these guys can stay on the racetrack. It just puts you in that window of time when if this caution comes out, it can put him in a bad spot.
Yeah, so we stay green here, and these guys have to start making green flag pit stops. This is a very, very difficult racetrack to get onto pit road because that bottom groove is what you're using a lot. It's hard to see around the corner exactly where you're at and where you need to get slowed down. So these guys really haven't had to make those green flag pit stops yet, and it's going to be their first time, and it's a critical time late in the race making that final pit stop. So we'll have to watch these guys and see, make sure that they can get on pit pit road and don't miss that commitment line.
This is the longest green flag run we've seen, and looks like Brian Vickers has a great car in the long run, and so does Denny Hamlin. Those two cars really shine in the long run. I think we have a short run, Allgaier in the 12 car, and Greg Biffle, if he can get on the lead lap, will be good.
Pit this time, you're clear by 8.
Sounds like the 12 car.
That's the
20 radio.
The 20 car is going to pit. They saw what happened to Biffle. They don't want to take a chance on running out of fuel.
So here comes Denny Hamlin.
Well, let's see if he can get woed down. Remember talking about all that speed you carry in the corners here. It has to be right there at 45 miles an hour.
That's our leader on the left side of your screen there. Brian Vickers in the 32 car now.
It's got to seem like an eternity for Denny Hamlin all the way at the other end of pit road down toward turn 1. Dave.
Denny was asked the condition of his race car. I needed to tighten on the short run, freed up on the long run. No response from Rogers. He said, well, you asked me. They're going to track bar and an air pressure adjustment as well. Again, on this long run, which will be just under 50 laps to end this race, the car needs to be freed up just a little bit. It got snug at the end there. So 4 tires on. Denny Hamlin will leave pit road in the 20.
Not a bad pit stop, 14.6 seconds. And folks may not know it takes longer to put fuel in the Nationwide cars than it does in the Sprint Cup cars. Andy,
these cans, the gas cans, the dump cans have a smaller neck on them. They do that just to slow the pit stops down so you don't have to have these hired guns, so to speak, to compete on pit road.
Mistake on the 20 car, too fast exiting pit road, and that'll be a drive-through penalty.
It'll just be a pass-through penalty. Pass-through. You do not have to stop in the stall.
He was clocked at 50.50 miles per hour, and the pit road speed's 45 with a 5-mile-per-hour grace, and so by half a mile an hour, he was speeding.
Well, it's just that's a tough break for this team.
Pit this time for pass-through. That's good. Clear by 10.
It's definitely going to take him out of contention. Here comes Justin Allgaier on pit road.
He has been the story today. You see the leader left side of your screen. Vickers has yet to come in. This should be the final scheduled pit stop for the rookie Allgaier.
I would say they're probably making this a little bit early because the handle's gone away on their car a little bit. So I think they're going to make some adjustments. Jamie?
They certainly are. He said it's gotten tight, but that's what he said all day long. So I don't think they're telling him they are going to adjust. They're just going to put 4 tires in fuel. It's been working out for him all day. Justin Allgaier, you see him being serviced. These are all Cup guys. It's a combination from the 2, the 12, the 77 on the Cup side. Doing phenomenal today, just like their driver, Justin Allgaier. He's down, guys.
David Reagan is in. Shannon.
Doc, it's been a long day for these guys. This is their last pit stop of the day. He just needs a little bit of help off the turns. They are going to take 4 tires, and it's going to be an air pressure adjustment for this number 6 car of David Reagan as their guys go to work on that 6 car. He's down and away.
Denny Hamlin did indeed give his drive-through penalty. Has been back through the pits as you see David Reagan coming out. Still waiting for Brian Vickers to come in. Got probably at least on fuel. He could probably make it 4 or 5 more laps. So the question is, how much longer do you want to stay out there?
Well, it doesn't hurt to stretch it right here because the tires don't fall off too far. But you just don't want to run out of fuel. You see Kevin Harvick now coming back out of the garage area with his car.
Heartbreaking day for Harvick after having what we believed and he believed might have been the car to beat here today in the garage area. Now he's coming back on the racetrack being shown about 54 laps down.
And you talk about Vickers staying out there and taking a chance. He's really not, as you said, because the tires aren't falling off. He's running. He's not losing a lot of time like new tires do at a lot of other places where you put them on. So, they could actually put themselves in a great position here as long as they possibly can if a caution should come out.
Yeah, if the caution came out right now, there's only 7 cars on the lead lap. And believe it or not, Jeff Burton is that 7th car that's on the lead lap. How about this move on the apron to get by Kenny Hendrick?
Yeah, he's trying to just get away so that air doesn't affect his car. And that is legal here. I know you think we were just at Daytona and that's not legal, but it is legal here. There's no out of bounds. Here comes the 20 car back on pit road.
He'd already served his penalty. Oh, he sped again as he made his penalty down pit road. So this is really going to hurt.
And I can identify. I did that at Atlanta one time. You talk about being mad at yourself. Wow. That's just so frustrating. But here they took a car, looked like maybe capable of winning, and just trying to be a little too anxious.
That was 4 car lengths past the line that time.
This time it was 50.440, so 0.4 of a mile per hour fast.
That's painful.
And it doesn't matter if it was 50.04, you know, it's going to be a penalty. Anything over that 50, they give you that 5 miles per hour for a reason, but you better not exceed that. Anything over that, you're going to get it.
Yeah, NASCAR doesn't give you a warning. They write you a ticket and make you come back in.
Yeah, we just heard Trent Owens calling his car in. The 32 car is going to pit this lap.
Probably see Brian there. He's right behind these guys. Ease out of it a little bit. He probably got slowed down there a little bit.
This is going to cost him a little time right here behind this 26. I'm sure he would like to have been in front of these guys, but got to take what you've got here.
Yeah, but he has some cushion.
That will leave Jason Leffler as the leader. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in second position. Final stop of the day for Vickers, the former series champion, coming down at 45 miles an hour. And he's pitted about 2/3 of the way down. There is the left side of your screen. There is Leffler, who is the leader. He only needed to come in the next 3 or 4 laps. Dave?
And Brian Vickers slides to a stop. He is inside his pit box. He said that last adjustment you made was great. Can you do it again? Trent Owens, the crew chief, said no, it was a spring rubber in the right rear. We can't take the time or the chance that we don't get it in. So they're going to try to loosen this car up with air pressure. 4 fresh tires go on. Lug nut off on the left front. That'll cost them some time. And they did not get it back on. The NASCAR official pointing. They'll have to return to pit road.
It has been a great points day. It's been a great points day for Jason Leffler in this 38 car. They are going for 2 tires only on this stop, guys. Fuel for the 38. Jason Leffler said earlier in the race that this is the best car he's had in Vegas. Mike.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. now making his stop. Team going to work on the right side of that car. Jr. saying he's just a little bit tight off the corner. Pretty good everywhere else. So also go up a half a round on the track bar. Just trying to free him up. A 4-tire change. 2 cans of Sunoco race fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 5 car.
32 car missing a lug nut, we're told. Will be back on pit road, Vickers. So the leaders just can't buy a break. We've had Hamlin had to come in for 2 speeding penalties, and now Vickers will come back on pit road to have a lug nut put on.
These are mistakes that are taking these guys out of a chance to win this thing. There's Brendan Gaughan. He's the leader right now.
Our in-race reporter from Las Vegas, grew up here, has won in the NASCAR Truck Series here back in 2003 from the pole. Had to go to a backup car and has driven this backup car for Rusty Wallace Incorporated extremely well here today.
You got a smoker just up ahead of these guys. That's Stephen Wallace still with a tire rub from earlier incident.
Brendan Gaughan will be needed to make his pit stop very soon. He last pitted on lap 107. Behind him would be Jeff Burton in second. He's got to come on, and so does Carl Edwards. They're first, second, and third right now here with 33 laps to go. Here is Vickers back in to get that lug nut put on.
Brendan Gaughan goes around coming down pit road.
All right, keep it going, 3,500 seconds.
And we've seen just so many mistakes.
So many mental errors.
You know, and as much as we look at the...
Wasn't speeding, though.
There might be another rule for that one, though.
Biffle's actually going to come out of this okay, even though they ran that car out of fuel. He's going to be okay. Mike?
Carl Edwards making a stop, saying the car was just a little bit loose. They'll try to correct it with air pressure, a 4-tire change in fuel for Edwards.
Carl Edwards there. Is Brendan Gaughan also leaving after doing that Joey Chitwood style entry on the pit road, 360 and not speeding. So if he doesn't get penalized, that's a heck of a job.
Nice recovery.
Mike?
And a war-torn Chevrolet of Jeff Burton hits pit road. They'll go to work on the right side of that car, but lots of damage still on the left side of that car. Remarkably, he's been able to run some pretty competitive lap times. Still, they're taking their time, making sure this stop is completed properly as Burton now pulls away.
Burton is down pit road, and now the 60 car of Carl Edwards, too fast on exit. He will come down for a pass through.
Man, and he got himself back on the lead lap with all of that.
Too fast exiting. Check that down one time.
Whoa, there was the leader, David Reagan, and he has slammed the wall in his Ford, bringing out caution again.
Wow. This is too much going on.
It's just almost too much to keep up with. But
you deserve a lot better.
The pit stops did cycle out right there. All the green flag stops. Greg Biffle's now the leader. That's too bad for David Reagan. He's got some heavy damage on this car.
His car had been damaged before. They had done such a great job down there getting it repaired. Mike Kelly and the crew, and Reagan was being shown as the leader.
Don't know if he was trying to get on the pit road or trying to get in position to come down the pit road.
He'd already been there, so let's see what happens here. That car just gets loose.
It's like we've seen other cars do today, right through that corner.
That's a hard hit. David was able to drive away from there.
That's too bad. He'd driven himself right up to the front and worked hard all day to get there.
Let's check this out from Greg Biffle's onboard camera. David Reagan right up in front of him here. Watch the car twitch right there. I mean, there's just no saving it.
Back her down, stay low.
Here you see Brendan Gaughan he just barely made the commitment cone, but a little bit out of control trying to get there.
He was wrong about it. He said he wasn't speeding. He was speeding coming in also. So, but a great job of not hitting anything.
And he wants to start at the end of the longest line, as does the 60 car. Carl Edwards. So both the 60 and 62 go for speeding. They will be at the back of the field when we go back to green flag. Working caution for the 10th time. Less than 30 laps to go. Greg Biffle is the leader. And how about the rookie, Justin Allgaier? Can he get it done? Wow. Would that be impressive? Back in a moment. Final laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and it has been a wild one. Boy, I tell you, just hard to believe so many different things happening. By the way, those of you tuning in, expecting to see West Coast Conference basketball action, Gonzaga and San Diego, they are currently tipping off on ESPNU. We'll join that game here on ESPN2 following the conclusion of this slugfest here in Las Vegas.
We almost needed a caution flag to catch our breath here. So much was going on in that last segment.
David Reagan was the leader. His damaged car now on pit road. The 60 car, Carl Edwards, getting back on the lead lap, despite the fact that by virtue of the cycling pit stops, and then he got a speeding penalty. He's back at the back of the pack. There is Carl Edwards.
Huge break for the 60 car there, though, to be able to serve this.
Well, the second place car is rookie Justin Allgaier. His family from Riverton, Illinois. Let's visit. Jamie.
And we're meeting everybody for the first time. Ashley, his wife, of course, is Dad Mike. Dad, you've been there for a while watching your son, though. What is this moment like for you right now? And do you think that he can get this thing done and go to victory lane?
I'm nervous right now. He's doing a great job, and just praying he keeps it up and God watches after him.
Ashley, how about for you as the wife watching? You've seen him lead races, but never at this level.
Of course I'm nervous, but I know he has a good head on his shoulders, and if he has a chance, he'll take it.
A lot of smiles, guys, and I know that the 16 is very worried about this 12 car.
Yeah, he should be. That 12 car's been strong, and he's going to have a shot at it.
What a day for Justin Allgaier. Folks, 45 years ago, back in 1964, this week, a 22-year-old who was a huge underdog, a 7-1 underdog by the name of Cassius Clay, knocked out the heavyweight champion, Sonny Liston, to become one of the all-time greats in heavyweight boxing. How about a 22-year-old here in NASCAR Nationwide Series competition trying to beat the heavyweights? Former series champion Greg Biffle right in front of him.
Yeah, they decided to go another lap here under caution. NASCAR was going to go green that time, but they decided to go another lap.
Well, we've seen a lot of these very experienced drivers make mistakes today. Some of the teams making mistakes and running Greg Biffle out of fuel. They're able to rebound and be in the lead right now, but it'll be interesting to see if this young rookie can get the job done here at the end. Greg Biffle better watch it outside, because that's where Justin's been really good on these restarts.
Judgment Week continuing tonight on ESPN. Pac-10 showdown. UCLA taking on rival California. Saturday prime time presented by DirecTV as part of Judgment Week on ESPN at 9 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. All the boys from game day are out in Cal. Should be a good one there in the Pac-10. If you're the crew chief for Allgaier, any words of wisdom?
Well, right now there's not much. I mean, it has come down to the point of the race where, hey, if you've got a car to win, let's go for it. You know, stay out of trouble.
We'll get a good one here.
You see a brake duct dangling just a little bit on the left front. Shouldn't be an issue.
fast as he's been, I don't think he's using much brake in that thing.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
And the problem that you're talking is coming off or something like that, or hanging down there in NASCAR. They're not going to do anything about that right there.
Remember, this race, this track has a history of wild finishes. 2 years ago, a scramble on the white flag lap, and it was Burton who won it last year with 4 laps to go, 3 cars involved in an incident, and Mark Martin brought it home to victory lane. 4 of the last 5 years, the winner, the driver who won the race, did not take the lead until inside of 10 laps to go. Could it happen again? Back to the green flag here with 26 laps to go.
Junior tried to get a little too much of a start there. He had to back out. He was about to pass too soon.
See, Denny Hamlin's 20 car, he's trying to get that lap back.
Yeah, Biffle got a great start there. Got himself some room.
And he's also got that 20 car between him and Justin Allgaier. That's a good buffer for Biffle.
And we talk about Allgaier. There's 2 hungry drivers right behind there, too.
How about Scott Lagasse? He's got this car in the top 5 after crashing in qualifying. They had to scramble to get this car ready just to start the race.
There is Lagasse, the rookie driver. 2 rookies in the top 5, and now Lagasse moving in on the 38 car for 3rd position.
I tell you, Scott Lagasse has been, to me, the most impressive and improved driver that I've seen in these first 3 races from last year.
He has been real surprising this year. This 11 car, they switched to Toyotas this year, and I think it's been a great move for this team. Scott Lagasse has just fell right in there with Paul Wolf, the crew chief, and I think they're just doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, they seem to be making a really, really good team. Uh-oh, problems for Allgaier. Got up a little too high.
Pushing just a little bit too hard, and here comes Lagasse taking advantage.
Rookie passing rookie there. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. now inside the 12 car of Allgaier. That is 4th position. That's for 4th spot.
I think he saw just a little bit of damage on the right front of that 12 car. I don't know if he got into somebody, but it looked like the letters were rubbed off the tire.
Oh, trouble on the backstretch.
Jason Keller sideways, heads across, spins it around.
Hold the brake.
And he will hit the safer barrier on the inside, bringing out caution number 11.
Bringing it around the pit box here.
Some heavy traffic. Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly what happened.
Maybe
right
got
here.
a little loose off turn 2 here. Yeah, you can see that car way out of shape.
How many times have we seen that today?
Wow.
Comes across and, boy, bounces off that safer barrier. See what Brendan Gaughan was able to watch ahead of him.
He's watching thinking, uh-oh, not again here.
Yeah, it's like, which way do I go?
There you go. Good job. All right, caution's out. Inside.
There's Jason Keller sitting in the car now. What is his misfortune is a break, though, for Denny Hamlin, the 20 car, being able to get now back on the lead lap.
That's the good news. The bad news is he's going to start in an 11th spot on this restart. And not very many laps to go. We're going to have about 20 laps to go when we go green.
Yeah, and actually he'd be further than that because he had to start tailing the longest line, which is going to be the inside line. So with that many cars a lap down. The 12 car to pit road here.
Yeah, I see some damage there. We didn't catch it, but I saw some damage on the right side of this car, and well, that's a tough break right there. Had a good run up to this point.
He did a great job all day, but when it came time to win there, he just tried to get a little too much out of it, it looks like.
And that's the things you have to learn. It's just hard to learn that without being in the position. The next time he'll know how hard he can push it at this point.
That's right.
Family there watching, realizing that they had a shot today, and the young man did a heck of a job.
He's going to have some more shots this year. This is a good race team, and we saw the potential today.
Here we have. We got to fix the right side, guys. Come on. Get over there. Hustle. Pull that hose back, please.
Last couple laps, NASCAR had called their spotters and said to take a look at the outside of the 12 car because they had heard rumors that he had brushed the wall as well. They had to call spotters to see if we can look back and see where he may have had contact.
Well, it turns out it wasn't a rumor at all. You can see he gets just into the wall right there, just pushing as hard as he can.
That is a difficult spot on this racetrack as you get up high. We've seen others have problems there.
We're good. We're good. Go, go, go. 38, 38.
Take your time.
He exits pit road, and let's check in, or Shannon has called up with David Reagan.
Doc, certainly one of the hardest working groups out there on the track today. We've seen a lot of drivers have some issues. What happened to you guys out there?
Well, our discount tire team did a great job. The team deserved a shot at the win today, and I screwed it up for them. We had a fast Ford Fusion, just driving too hard for the situation that I was in. We knew that we had a shot, to contend for the win. We had a good car, but just apologize to all the discount tire team and all the fans out there. That was very disappointing. It'll take a little while to get over that, but we've still got a race tomorrow.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be the last time that David Reagan will find himself in the lead. Jamie?
Well, Shannon, Eddie Pardue, now crew chief for Greg Biffle. Well, you guys had a pit road violation. You ran out of gas. You're leading again. Do you have enough luck to get this thing done?
I think we do. The City Financial Ford Fusion has been fast all weekend, and we were lucky enough to have our troubles early, but what a crazy race.
All right, they're looking to break a 76 winless streak. Mike?
And catching up now with Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief Brian Campy. It's been a battle all weekend for you. How would you describe it, and do you have enough to get to the front?
I think so. Dale Jr.'s doing a really good job in the GoDaddy Chevrolet. The guys on the crew worked real hard all day, all weekend, really. We had a tough first practice, but the guys battled through and all that. So, yeah, I think we got enough. We'll get going here and see what happens.
And he hasn't had a lot of time to work with his driver. Believe it or not, Doc, this is only the third time he's worked with Dale Earnhardt Jr., but they've hit it off pretty good, I'd say.
Second of 7 races Junior will run this year, and folks, it is a single file restart. The new rule here in 2009, inside of 20 laps to go, they all line up single file. Remember, that was the 5-car last year with Mark Martin aboard that drove it down and won that race. It'll be Biffle trying to break that 76 race winless streak. Leffler, Lagasse, the rookie, Earnhardt Jr., and McDowell in the top 5.
So Junior try that move again on Scott Lagasse, and it's just not where his timing's not very good on that. It's going to maybe cost him another spot.
It's hurting him, actually. They're trying to get that advantage, and it's cost a lot of time for both those guys. Lagasse lost a little bit too. See McDowell underneath Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, don't look now, but right behind there is Carl Edwards too.
Jeff Burton in his damaged car, and Carl Edwards coming from a lap down. They are battling for position.
Brian Vickers on the inside of Carl Edwards trying to take that spot away from him.
Yeah, that's 6th, 7th, and 8th right there on your screen.
That's our in-race reporter, Brendan Gaughan. Right along with him here down into turn 1. To get up in there and battle for this mixed 6th, 7th, 8th.
Gaughan is in 9th position. Trying to get back-to-back top 10 finishes.
Give a call to Jeff Burton. He crashed that car earlier, but it's that team did a good job fixing it, and he's driven this thing back up in the top 10.
Yeah, I thought they were just going back out there to gather some points. I had no idea they would have a top 10 car.
He's in the top 5. He's running 5th right now.
And moving in on Junior, as you look back from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car at Jeff Burton, who now is getting a little bit of a challenge from Carl Edwards for that position.
Scott Lagasse still doing a great job. Yeah. Sitting right there in 3rd spot with a backup car.
Carl Edwards takes that 5th spot away from Jeff Burton. So he's come back from his problems with that tire problem that he had earlier under Green that got him a lap down. Sets his sight on Dale Jr. now. Trying to get that 4th spot away. What looked like was going to be, well, it has been a crazy point day for everybody. And I know we're only 3 races in, but obviously you're trying to win a championship. Every race counts. Here's a battle.
Yeah, 9th and 10th there. Yeah, Allgaier trying to go by and take the 9th spot away from Brendan Gaughan.
He was just in and got tires as they tried to repair some of the damage on the car and try to get as many spots as he can here before in these last 15 laps. There's Carl Edwards on the left trying to take that 4th spot away from Dale Jr.
There's only 15 laps to go, though. Junior's not just going to lay over and give him this spot. He's going to make Carl earn this.
Junior just doesn't seem to have the car today. He just doesn't seem to be able to get down into the corner and through the center to really be competitive. There's Carl going for the 3rd spot with Scott Lagasse. Man, that car is hooked up and going. If he got a caution flag, he might could see what he has for Greg Biffle.
Time's running out, but he is in the 3rd spot.
A little over 2 seconds behind Greg Biffle.
I mentioned again a little bit ago, 3 of the last 4 races here, the eventual winner did not take the lead until inside of 10 laps to go. It gets crazy here at Vegas in the final 10 laps. Here comes Lagasse now trying to battle back on the outside of Dale Jr. to retake that spot.
And the last thing Greg Biffle wants to see right now is a caution flag, because that would put Carl Edwards right in the mix to win this thing. And Biffle has a nice lead. He's got about a second lead over Jason Leffler.
2 years ago, it was a last lap pass out of turn 4 by the guy driving the 29 car, Jeff Burton, by Kyle Busch, who had led much of the day. Last year, it was contact among first, second, and third that gave the win to Mark Martin. Here comes the 32 car. He's come from a lap down.
Oh, contact in here, too.
Woo. They keep him straight. Lagasse not giving up. Not laying over for Vickers here.
Vickers get a little loose right there. You can see he has to get out of the gas. Now they're three wide.
5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, all in your
Here comes
screen.
Allgaier. Look here, still 3 wide.
12 laps to go. Biffle the leader. Leffler in second spot. Edwards back in third. Earnhardt Jr. and Lagasse now battling back and forth for that 4th position.
And now Junior's got Lagasse pinned to the bottom. I think this is the position that Junior wants to be in right here, because that car on the inside is the one that gets loose and has to back off. You see, Lagasse has to give that spot up.
Here he comes back to the inside, though.
This is risky right here, though. This is where a lot of guys have lost it.
He slides back in behind Junior.
Right up in front of
to
Vickers.
the outside.
Here comes Allgaier. He's got tires. He's got new tires on the right side. Has a little damage, but it doesn't look like it's hurt the car any.
This is the one car that looks like it's been really stable down on that inside. As he,
you were saying, DJ?
Yeah. It's stable enough to stay off of Vickers there.
It's only 10 laps to go, so they're getting all they can get right here.
This battle is about 5 seconds behind the leader, Greg Biffle, who's about a second and a half in front of Leffler and Carl Edwards. There is the leader, left side of your screen, Greg Biffle, trying to break a 76-race winless streak that goes back 3 years to February of 2006.
Yeah, you're not going to see second in that shot with Biffle. He's about a second and a half out front with Jason Leffler.
Denny Hamlin, who just got that lap back, now trying to move on the inside of the racetrack and take the 10th spot away from Brendan Gaughan.
That's after 2 pit road penalties under Green, so this is a good recovery for the 20 team.
And Brendan Gaughan has had a great day, too. As we documented earlier, great day. He crashed yesterday, had to go to a backup car. He didn't get any practice in it, came out qualified well, and is running the top, or around the top 10 all day long.
8 laps to go here in the Samstown 300. 17 lead changes, 12 different drivers. So many great stories. Left side of your screen, a couple of rookies running in the top 10. Allgaier to 12. Lagasse the 11 from the back of the pack in a backup car. Right side of your screen, battle for the top 10 finishing position. Denny Hamlin, Brendan Gaughan, also in a backup car, by the way, for Gaughan.
Brendan Gaughan is digging on the outside. He's not giving up at all right here. He's got 7 laps to go. He's trying to hold off this 20 car.
He's always been one. Remember back in the Truck Series, man, he was always a guy that was up there high. Yeah, and you made a little joke earlier talking about his car when he was running the bottom, too, when we were talking to him earlier.
He likes that high line.
Coming up next, Judgment Week West Coast Conference basketball. Gonzaga and San Diego currently over on ESPNU. We'll be going to ESPN2 following these final laps here at Las Vegas.
That 10th spot.
Watch out here. Whoa, boy. Brendan Gaughan gave him a break right there.
Yeah.
So that could have been a problem.
Yeah, he's driving that thing hard. He wants a top 10 finish. Just means a lot to say you were in the top 10, not 11.
Yeah.
But
that one spot does mean a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan coming off his career first top 10 last week at California.
Yeah, you wouldn't race that hard for 6th because he just doesn't sound as good, you know. But you were going from 11th to 10th sounds great.
5 laps to go.
folks, don't go anywhere because this race has a history of getting really wild in the final laps and smoke out of the right front of the 20 car.
Yeah, we see some damage on the right side of the 20 car, and we see some tire smoke out of Brendan Gaughan's car just a little bit. Looks like Denny Hamlin's been against the wall.
Right front tire is rubbing. It is rubbing.
It's rubbing pretty good. He's had some major contact. Big crash.
Right up in front of Bliss, and Bliss just pops it.
We just blew it. We got run into. We're in the wall. We're on fire. Need to get out, Denny. Go ahead, jump out. It is on fire.
You see one of the rear springs stuck in the nose. I don't know if that's his rear spring.
I would say that's where Bliss ran up in the back of it and drove it up, knocked it out of there.
Just trying to get it to the finish after making that contact with the outside wall.
Yeah.
Must have had a tire go down and got in the fence, and poor Mike Bliss, just no place to go.
Yeah, he just ran right up in front of Bliss. Bliss is sitting there thinking, what else could possibly happen?
Cut tire, problems getting on and off of pit road today. And there's Denny Hamlin climbing out of his car. What a comeback he had. A couple of pit road speeding penalties and issues in the pits. Here's how it all unfolded a moment ago. The 20 car of Hamlin bouncing it off the fence.
Yeah, right there's where it started. You see that damage, and it started rubbing the tire.
That was just after he had passed Brendan Gaughan. And here's, as he goes down into turn one, that tire lets go right in front of Mike Bliss.
And these guys are all racing as hard as they can because there's 5 laps to go. And Mike Bliss just didn't have any idea this 20 car was going to go in the fence like that.
Watch this hit again. You can see the smoke. Right here's where it's going to let go.
Man, big wreck.
At that point in time, Bliss probably hadn't even backed out of the throttle yet.
He was looking to the outside. I think he was going to try to pass the 20 on the outside, get in the corner.
All clear there, buddy. You see what you got in front of you.
Watch the violence of this impact.
You see the nose going completely up under the rear wheels of the 20 car Denny Hamlin. See the parts and pieces flying out of these race cars. Fire. Man, that's a big fire under the hood of the 20.
And this is just where all the safety features that we have in these cars.
Yeah, you can see this spring right here. It's just going down the racetrack. It lines up in the nose.
The front. Started out in the rear of the car.
Yeah.
What was a brand new race car that had never been on the racetrack prior to the day. That 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing is now pretty much junk.
Joe Gibbs had a tough day today. They tore up 2 good race cars. This one's junk. Well, this is going to set up a finish too because we've got Carl Edwards sitting in 3rd spot with a real fast race car.
Biffle's been awful good on these restarts, though, getting up to speed. Looks like his car is really comfortable enough that he can be aggressive. Don't know if he's running wide open or not, but I guarantee he's running pretty close, though, on that first lap or 2. So be hard for Carl to get there, but we've had crazy finishes here.
Well, the cars behind Biffle, Leffler, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. each have tires that are about 20 laps fresher than what Biffle has, but they don't have a lot of time. There is Carl Edwards, who had lost a lap. Had to get the lap back by virtue of the pit stop sequencing, and now it finds himself in contention to win this thing from 3rd spot. What a day here at Las Vegas. 12 caution flags, 52 laps, 2 red flags. Some of the major contenders, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, in the garage area early, having to call it a day. Now Denny Hamlin's car essentially destroyed, sitting there on the racetrack.
Since this track has been reconfigured with the banking, we've had on average of about 50 plus caution flagged laps in each one of these nationwide races, and today it's the same thing. We've had 53 laps of caution. Just been a treacherous racetrack.
They said when they redid it, they wanted to make it more exciting for the fans, and not that wrecking is what makes it exciting, but it's a lot of action going on, and that's why they fill these stands up. Going to have a sellout here tomorrow for the Cup race.
Those of you joining us looking for Gonzaga and San Diego, they are underway right now, and you can find that game over on ESPNU. Now, we're here on ESPN2. That game will come on following the conclusion of our race coverage, which should be a wild one here in these final few laps at Las Vegas. We've had everything happen today. We had Mark Martin join us early on in the pit studio. He presented Brad Doherty with a souvenir Pop-Tart, and Brad said he was going to keep it. I think the over and under that Pop-Tart is long gone.
Gotta like that under that he said for 9 caution flags. Yeah, I think the Pop-Tart went by the wayside too, and that seemed like 4 hours ago that we were talking to Mark Martin, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's check in with some crew chiefs. Mike.
And Dan Stillman, the crew chief for Carl Edwards, standing by. It appears to me this might be the break you need. How much of an opportunity do you look at this as being?
Well, it's good. We'll just see what happens. We had a little trouble getting going on the restarts here after a caution, so we'll just see what happens. But we're in a good spot. We came from a long way down here to be in third right now, so we're pretty happy.
You sure did come from a long way down. Remember, after they spun, they restarted 26th, Shannon.
Mike, well, this 38 team started this race 23rd today. Right now, they're running second. Got Greg Biffle in front of you. You guys got what it takes to win this race?
I don't know. I think we were about mirror image lap times through that last run, but no matter where we end up, I'm real proud of the whole team. Great Clips Toyota teams worked real hard all winter long. Guys back at the shops worked real hard. Had a good car since we unloaded. Really changed nothing all weekend. And, we're shooting right now. We'd love to win, but if we could get out of here with a good solid top 5 or finish second would be awesome.
Second place finish, Scott Zipadelli. It's only his third race on top of this pit box for Jason Leffler. Doc?
Thanks, Shannon. You talk about all these hard licks we've seen today. These drivers are able to walk away safely, and these cars are very, very safe. Again, here's the impact at over 165 miles an hour. Bliss into the back of Denny Hamlin. And for more on safety and these cars, let's go down to our Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. Just the impact of the crash alone, it's devastating to the guy inside the car. But we've got a lot of safety interventions. The intrusion panels, those are new to NASCAR in the Nationwide Series. What it is, it's a steel plate that's welded to the bar, and it keeps metal from penetrating. But then again, the foam, it absorbs a lot of the energy. NASCAR let the competitors put this foam in the Nationwide cars. It's mandatory in the COT car that they run in the Cup Series, as well as they can put that foam in the right side. But as long as the driver stays within the confines of the seat, his head, his Hans device, he's going to be in pretty good shape. As far as the spring coming out, when he actually jacked the car up, the spring, it probably sheared the chain back here and literally just spit the spring out. But the deck lid and the hoods, we actually have them tethered. How the tether actually operates, you loop it around the bar and you bolt it to the rear deck lid, and that keeps the deck lid affixed to the car and keeps it from flying, maybe getting in the grandstand. Jerry?
Thank you, Tim. That shows you how all the parts and pieces stay together and the drivers stay safe in spite of something like this.
Still no fun. Even if it is safer, it's still no fun.
Well, the last 2 years at this racetrack, the NASCAR Nationwide Series has had some absolutely fabulous finishes. As the white flag waves, they have one lap. Can Jeff Burton get there?
Wide open on the top of the track. It's going to be a drag race right to the end.
Burton squeezes high. They are door to door.
Jeff Burton. Good job. Woo-hoo.
Jeff Burton takes the win, and Kyle Busch slams the wall.
It'll depend right here if Brad Keselowski can hold up Carl a little bit as to whether Mark Martin's going to have a chance at this.
Oh, here we go.
Contact Martin into the back of the 60 car.
I knew it was going to be a dogfight at the end, and we were fighting hard, and it just didn't work out.
I've got to apologize before we do any celebrating. I hate it really because we could have had a 1-2 finish with JR Motorsports.
What a place this has been for great finishes over the years here, and we've had one last year and the year before. We're going to get it again. Final laps here in the Sam's Town 300. Crowd of over 80,000 on hand. Glad to have you with us. Some college basketball coming up next, Gonzaga and San Diego. If you just clicked over to watch basketball, that game's over on ESPNU. Will be coming here, but you may want to stay tight here and watch this fabulous NASCAR Nationwide Series finish.
We got some hungry drivers that haven't won in a while, and they're all going to be standing on the gas here because they've got a shot at this thing.
Scott Lagacy in the pits, getting some tires.
While you watch the 11 car, let's check in with Mike Bliss, who's standing by with Dave Burns.
Mike, are you okay? And talk about the surprise ending to your bizarre day.
Yeah, I'm all right. Just a weird day with the front straightaway wreck, 2 right rear flats, and then this. I guess I seen him hit the wall at the backstretch, and I was going to slow down and just go to the outside because I figured he's slowing down. I guess he blew a right front, and then I just had nowhere to go. And I guess it just ends a day that I don't understand. You know, our Mikasuki Chevrolet was very fast today, but unbelievable. I can't wait to go home.
Glad you're okay. Doc?
I will bet you, Dave, a lot of drivers are saying after this day is over, I can't wait to go home, because what a wild one here. 2 red flags, 12 caution flags, 56 laps, 17 lead changes, and I'm going to predict here that we have not seen our last lead changes in this one yet.
It's going to be a good one here. You got some good guys that are wanting to win this race.
Yeah, you're in a good spot there. You know, I think you got the 38 covered. Lap times were better than the 16. But, you know, we'll just see what happens here. You know, we just need a good restart. Yeah, 10-4, good restart. We're still on our, you know, still on our program here. So we'll try to do the smart thing here.
What would be the smart thing right here?
Well, the smart thing would be not to take any unnecessary chances. I mean, he likes, you know, he's here to win race, but he's talking about the big picture, which is a championship. And once again, I know we're 3 races in, but if you're going to win a championship, you have to think about that every single time you go to make a move or to do anything. And he knows they'll have a lot of other opportunities to win races this year.
Let's hear from Denny Hamlin. Dave.
Yeah, he walked from the infield care center, Doc. And Denny, tell us how you're feeling physically, but also mentally after a day like today.
Yeah, it's just it's tough, you know, to come here to these nationwide races and, you know, try to do the best you can, and, you know, just made the mistakes on pit road and try to make up for it by driving hard, and just got ourselves, you know, into the fence, and, you know, compounded one bad thing into another, and you know, got hit right there in the wall. But we cut a tire, and the rest is history. But I got to thank Interstate and Toyota and everyone for getting me in here for this at least one race, and you know, try to have some fun. But it's just tough to, you know, it's tough to, you know, get this out of your mind for tomorrow, but that's what you got to do. It's just you got to realize that these are 2 different machines, and, you know, we know we got a strong FedEx Camry for tomorrow.
Thanks, Eddie. Doc?
16 car Greg Biffle, a 76 race winless streak, driving the car that he last won with back at the February of 2006. Behind him, Jason Leffler hasn't won since August of 2007. Carl Edwards, the 2007 champion there. How about Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 5 car, the same car that was able to get it done in the final laps a year ago. Earnhardt Jr.'s last win, August of 2006 at Michigan. And back in 5th spot, Brian Vickers, the former 2003 champion. All these guys hungry for a win.
Yeah, we're talking about Carl. Let's not slight Jason Leffler here. I mean, he's very capable of getting up there and moving to the outside of Greg Biffle and creating a real excitement, because if he does that, then that opens the door for Carl Edwards in 3rd. So he's done a great job all day, and I know he's hungry to get a win. Shannon?
Well, right now, Jason Leffler coming over the radio telling his crew chief, Scott Zipadelli, feels like he's running out of fuel. They're telling him just move around that racetrack. We got 1 lap to go.
These cars will tend to try to pull a little bit of air in the fuel lines when they run through the banking when they're low on fuel, and that's the situation they're in. They don't have a lot of fuel in the tanks. If they can get going green without it stumbling, I think Jason will be okay, but crew chief's telling him to weave the car around, try to keep fuel in that pickup.
NASCAR rules state that you get 1 attempt at a green-white-checkered, which means they will come down for the green flag, the white flag next time by, and the checkered flag. If you have a problem during that 1 attempt, the race is over.
Scott Lagasse came in and got tires. Got the rookies running from 6th to 9th on the racetrack.
These guys have done a great job all day.
NASCAR took an extra lap to get this track clean, because we're going to have some sparks flying here in a minute, folks.
Jason Leffler down on the apron there, trying not to let that fuel run away.
That's the way to do it. Get the car down on the flat of the racetrack and let that fuel run to the right rear corner where the pickup is.
They call Las Vegas, Nevada the show capital of the world. They say it all happens after dark. Folks, this one's about to happen, and it's still daylight.
Barely.
Barely.
Okay, this is going to be the go lap. They're going to give them 1 to go.
Those of you at home, can Greg Biffle hold on? These fans here on their feet watching this, getting ready to watch a restart here a lap from now. Jason Leffler, Edwards, Earnhardt Jr., Vickers, Allgaier, the rookie, McDowell, Brendan Gaughan, the Las Vegas native, Lagasse, and Jeff Burton. Those 10 cars still have a shot. They're all on the lead lap.
Legacy and Burton came in and got tires there, so it'll be interesting to see if that helps them any in this short little run here. We've seen problems on these restarts all day, but a lot of it's been because full fuel and worn out tires or tires that have a lot of laps on them, and we don't have that situation here. Their tires pretty much match the fuel, and it should be easier for them to really get after, and I think we're going to see Greg Biffle take off here and maybe not lift.
He's going to be going for it, but there's a bunch of guys behind him going to be going for it too.
If you are Carl Edwards, DJ, knowing that it's the big picture in the championship, but knowing your nearest competitor, Kyle Busch, who came in as the points leader, is out of this one, do you worry about the big picture, or do you think about that checkered flag?
No, I think right here, Carl's he's thinking about the big picture right now, and that's pretty much what he said there is, hey, we've got a lot of other races that we're going to have opportunities to win, and I think that he's going to, can't call it points racing. He's running third. He's drove his tail off all day long, but they've overcome a lot, so let's make the most out of this day.
Out of gas, dude.
Uh-oh, got a car out of fuel on the apron.
Ken Butler the third.
Out of gas.
They're going to have to call this restart off.
Yeah, they're waving the yellow flag again up there on the flag stand to get him an assist to get in.
Biffle was in awful early, and I know we've had some caution laps here, but could he be getting close again?
Why don't we ask his crew chief, Dave?
And they were talking about it earlier. Eddie Pardue, you pitted on lap 147, I think, with all these caution laps. You going to be like the other guys? You got enough to go?
We got enough to go. We're going to run on the flat here to make sure we got enough in the tank. But City Financial Ford Fusion's been good, and we're good for about another 10.
Did you make Tim Brewer proud and put that pickup in the right place in the fuel cell?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
I don't know. The only way it made Brewer feel better if he'd put a bigger fuel cell in it, wouldn't he?
That's what
That'd make Brewer feel good.
Remember, we are now 6 laps past the advertised distance here of 200 laps, 300 miles, and to get that trophy for the Samstown 300.
Well, that's a pretty trophy.
And that's nice. Whew. That's definitely worth racing hard for. If Carl saw a picture of that, he might not be thinking about the big picture as much.
Biffle trying to break a winless streak. Leffler hasn't won in 50 races. Toyota, by the way, has never won in Cup or Nationwide at this racetrack.
Yeah, we talk about this looking at the big picture, and that's easy to talk about while you're riding around right there. But as soon as Carl gets up here and gets ready to get the green flag, he's going to forget about that.
If he sees an opening, he's taking it.
Yeah, he's going to go.
I just can't ever forget Carl on that final lap at Kansas City last year. Wow. If I'm driving that pace car, I might want to get out of the way.
Drop down the apron if you feel you need to. I wouldn't worry about it.
He's got them slowed down quite a bit there. They were trying to make sure they got that car off.
This is going to be the issue for these guys that are low on fuel. When they go green, as soon as that green comes out, the cars are likely to, the ones that are out of fuel or close to it are likely to stumble. And they'll pick up the fuel once they get in the corner, but the real vulnerable time is going to be right here when they get the green.
Pace car pulled away. This should be quite a shootout here in the final couple laps. Green, white, checkered flag at Las Vegas. Biffle, can he hold on? Green flag waves. Watch for the move by Carl Edwards.
Biffle was in the gas, but Jason Leffler did a good job. He's out of gas.
It'll pick back up. Just keep digging the best you can. It'll pick up. Still outside.
That opens the door for Edwards. Here he comes. He's on the bumper. He's there.
Right in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He goes high. He goes low.
He's going to have to hold it right here. This is where the car can get really loose. Here comes Biffle on the outside.
He's going to squeeze him down there.
Teammates, they almost come together. White flag this time by.
There's Brian Vickers trying to take that third spot away from Dale Jr.
Well, you got to hand it to Biffle right there. He did a good job of keep his car on the outside of Carl Edwards and put him in that spot to have to back off.
Yeah, he drove it in there just hard enough to keep him pinched down. You can see Carl's car get loose, and he had to get out of the throttle.
Vickers takes a third spot away from Dale Earnhardt Jr. 6 car lengths back to Carl Edwards. Turn 3. Here comes Edwards. 5 car lengths. Here comes Biffle out of turn 4. And the 76 race winless streak is over as Greg Biffle wins at Vegas.
Jason Leffler's car picked back up too, and he came back to finish 5th, or actually 4th.
Yeah, the part that was going to be a problem was that restart.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. Great job by Greg Biffle.
Nice job by those guys. Eddie Pardue, City Financial team for Greg Biffle.
Greg Biffle, you are the man. You are the man. Awesome job.
What a wild one we had today, boys.
Yeah, Vegas didn't disappoint once again, did it?
Well, the driver had the flu. They ran him out of gas. He had a pit road violation, and he still came back and won the race.
That's a nice finish.
Yeah.
Greg Biffle becomes the 9th different driver to win here in 13 races for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Las Vegas.
It's been a while
Motor
since
Speedway.
he's been to victory lane. He's in a hurry to get there.
Jack seems pumped.
Yeah, here he goes. Another win at Vegas for Jack Roush.
How about that? 5th time Jack Roush's cars have gone to victory lane here in the series. So Biffle wins it. Edwards is 2nd. Vickers 3rd. Leffler, as you mentioned, back to 4th place. Ed Earnhardt Jr. finishing 5th. McDowell, Brendan Gaughan 7th. His career best finish for Gaughan. And the same for Justin Allgaier in 8th. Lagasse, another career best finish in 9th. And Jeff Burton is 10th. Guys, your thoughts on a wild day?
I just don't know what to say. I couldn't hardly keep up with the action. It was so wild and furious, and a lot of guys having bad days, but it was a big break for Biffle to get the win.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch all day long.
Radio interview, but the driver of the City Financial Ford, Greg Biffle,
while he unstraps, let's check in with the 2nd place finisher, Carl Edwards. Mike.
And it's always fun to watch Carl Edwards on those restarts. You made it awfully exciting on that last lap. What did you need to get by the 16?
Maybe 6 more inches. I want to win so bad, but it's cool to see City Financial and Victory Lane and Greg Biffle and Roush Fenway 1-2. I can't thank Scott's save a lot. We've been close here with them last year, and Ford. It's cool to have Fords up there, but look, my hands are shaking a little bit. I drove it in there as deep as I thought was reasonable, and Jason Hedleski, my spotter, was telling me, he's still there, and I thought, man, he's got me, and I wanted to keep my leg in it, but I thought we'd wreck him, so I did the best I could. It was fun.
And he raced him clean, Doc, and came up just a little bit short.
Just a little bit short. He said it needed 6 more inches, so 3 years in a row, hold your breath finishes here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and this guy pulled it out.
Was a slow exit. Greg, you told me how sick you were feeling before you got in this car. What does it mean to you, everything you guys had to fight through today?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it feels like the 24-hour race. I've been in that car so long, but just so excited for the City Financial Ford Fusion guys and the fans. I mean, this place is just packed with the fans. It's so awesome to see them out and, the support in this sport. And, City needs a lot of support right now, so we're excited to get them in victory lane.
Let's talk about that last couple of laps. Carl Edwards right behind you. How did you repass him and take home the win?
Well, it ran out of gas on the restart going down into turn 1, and I think they said the 38 ran out of gas also, so it was unfortunate that I just kept it on the bottom, and then the fuel pressure came back. I tried to block Carl going down the back, but I couldn't do it, so I just stayed in the throttle on the outside. My car was so good, I was able to pass him back.
He's had a lot of moments that he could have been here, Ellen. Today he finally brings it home.
Comes out on top of a crazy wild day here in Las Vegas today. Couple of weeks off for the Nationwide Series. Saturday, March 21st is the next race at Thunder Valley, Bristol. That's on ABC. Hope you'll join us for that. Up next, we join the Gonzaga-San Diego West Coast Conference college basketball game. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Vegas.